Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Deku become Monster Summoner Part 2. If you guys enjoy this what if and want to see part 3, comment down below and let me know before I start. Please do support for more awesome content and leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also share this video with your friends and check out the description in my playlist. The author of the story 𝗧𝗵𝗃 from WhatIf. So let's start the video.
They returned to the base where the monsters had finished building some more vehicles for the lava monsters. 𝗵𝗃 had a flying vehicle called the Flame Bat, and 𝗵𝗃 had two vehicles, a flying vehicle called the 𝗧𝗵𝗃𝗃 and a ground-based vehicle called the Lava Smasher. Lastly was 𝗧𝗵𝗃𝗃's vehicle, which is known as the Chaos Catapult. Izuku was happy at how far they had come, and he was proud that the monsters were enjoying themselves. It was now time for his revenge on 𝗵𝗃𝗃. The first thing they did after 𝗵𝗃𝗃 regained consciousness was put on a news report about the meeting that the UA faculty were having with the press, which also showed that the public was turning on them. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, isn't that strange? The heroes are becoming the bad guys. Seems like they're not dealing with this very well at all. So much criticism. But everyone makes a mistake or two, right? It's not like they're supposed to be perfect. Modern-day heroes sure have it rough. Don't you think, 𝗵𝗃𝗃? Spinner. Once a hero receives payment to protect people, they aren't a real hero anymore. That's what Stan's actions taught us. However, some heroes donate that payment to charities or use it to help families. This, of course, gives us a different view as to what a fake hero really is. Someone who flaunts their status and uses it for selfish. This includes only going after fame and recognition. This is something Izuku taught us. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, a hero in this current system, only cares about money and glory. And since society buys into those idiotic rules, anyone deemed a loser is shoved aside. So we want to pose some questions. What is a hero? What is justice? Is this society truly fair? Soon, everyone will be asking. That's when we'll know we've won. And you like winning, don't you? 𝗵𝗃𝗃 growls 𝗵𝗃𝗃. We were originally going to recruit you, but after what Izuku told us about his past, now we just want to watch you suffer. 𝗬𝗲𝗵𝗃. Let him go. 𝗬𝗲𝗵𝗃, you know he'll just fight. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, it's fine. Izuku's already dealt with that problem. Besides, he's smart enough to know he can't take us all, right? After all, UA students are so clever. 𝗬𝗲𝗵𝗃, hey Twice. You do it. Twice, sure thing. / no way. 𝗬𝗲𝗵𝗃, do it. Twice, oh man. Twice goes over to 𝗵𝗃𝗃 to remove the restraints. Mr. Compress, I do apologize for such forceful methods. But please understand that we aren't some kind of unruly mob committing crimes without a third act in mind. We didn't kidnap you by accident. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, even though our backgrounds are different, everyone here has suffered. Because of people, rules, and heroes who try to hold us back. I'm sure you're the same. Once he was free, 𝗵𝗃𝗃 shoved Twice aside and then tried to use his quirk on 𝗵𝗃𝗃, but it only came out as a punch which knocked the hand off his face. Twice, Shigaraki. 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃, I'm done listening to your endless talking. Can you not get to the point? Or do you just like your own voice? Basically, what you're saying is you want to cause some trouble and you want me for something. Well, screw you. I like to win. I want to win just like All Might. No matter what you have to offer me, that will never change. Do you understand? And what did you do to my quirk? Izuku, don't go blaming him for that. That was all me. I injected you with a drag that temporarily deactivates a person's quirk. I knew you'd try something like this, so I injected it into you while you were still unconscious. As for the new reason we brought you here, well, for me to get some much-needed payback. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, and what are you gonna do about it, Deku? Izuku smiles. Hold this, please. The bookkeeper takes the staff from Izuku as he stands up and walks towards 𝗵𝗃𝗃. Izuku, 𝗵𝗃𝗃, why don't you sit down for a bit? I'll take care of this. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, sure. 𝗵𝗃𝗃 picks up the hand and puts it back on his face before returning to a seat. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, you think you can take me down? You're just a quirkless nobody. Izuku, I know everything about you, 𝗂𝗃, and how you act, how you talk, and how you fight. For instance, 𝗵𝗃𝗃 then attacks Izuku. But Izuku counters it and punches him in the gut. Izuku, you always lead with a right hook. And you're always reliant on your quirk. Take away both of your best techniques and you're vulnerable. Now then, let's get started. Izuku starts beating up 𝗵𝗃𝗃 fiercely, making him bleed from his mouth, punching him in the head and gut, as well as breaking his arms and legs, but not to the point of losing function. Izuku then finished and towered over Bakugo. Izuku, how does it feel, Kaken, to be beaten by someone stronger than you? This is how I felt for 10 years. This is my way of getting back at you for tormenting me for all those years. Bakugo Gore, you're still just a quirkless Deku. Izuku, I looked up to you for 10 years. I cared about you. Even on that day you fell, I offered you help, but you pushed me away. I thought we were friends, but I thought wrong. And you know what else? I'm done wanting to be a hero if it means I'll end up like those fakes in the hero commission. I'm going to be my own hero. A hero for the people who suffered under the corruption of this broken society. A hero for the villains. Hearing this surprised the villains. They could tell Izuku was telling the truth, and this made them all hopeful for a better future. Izuku, while I'm at it, I might as well explain how I was able to do all those things before. This isn't a quirk. Everyone just assumes that anything that appears strange might be one. But this is something that has existed long before modern society. This is true magic, and I'm thankful to have it since it's much better than anything a quirk could offer. And I owe it all to 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 for teaching me. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 was happy to hear his young apprentice say those things, and he was proud to be his mentor. Izuku, oh, and you think we're villains? You're dead wrong. You are a real villain faker. That last word struck Bakugo to his core. It made him feel a mix of emotions. He then looked back on his past. Every time he bullied someone, every time he used his quirk against someone else, and every time he hurt Izuku, rejecting him and hurting him. Izuku, I have nothing more to say. Izuku returns to his seat and takes back the staff. 𝗵𝗲𝗄, now then. The heroes said they'd continue their investigation of our group, so we don't have time to stand here and talk. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏, lend me your power. The voice of AFO emerged from the monitor. AFO, that is a wise decision, 𝗵𝗲𝗄 Shigaraki. Bakugo got up, but very weakly. Bakugo, 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏. I thought you were the boss around here. But you're a sidekick. 𝗵𝗲𝗄, 𝗧𝗍𝗪. Compress. It's time to put him back to sleep. Mr. Compress. Sigh, I can't believe he's such a bad audience member. It's almost impressive. If you want me to listen, then get on your knees and beg. Pretend Izuku 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 and the bookkeeper are there. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏. Held by a tree. Quite ironic considering I'm a book and we're made from trees. 𝗵𝗲𝗄, mind, after I went through all the trouble of preparing this, the final boss goes and shows up on my doorstep. Everyone's been restrained. There's no easy way to escape. It can't be helped. So they've got backup, huh? Well, we do too. 𝗵𝗲𝗄, 𝗧𝗍𝗪. Warp over as many as you can. The Noma, right? But nothing happens. 𝗵𝗲𝗄, what are you waiting for, damn it? 𝗧𝗍𝗪, I'm sorry, 𝗵𝗲𝗄 Shigaraki. The Nomas were supposed to be in a fixed location, but they're gone. 𝗵𝗲𝗄, huh? It seems you have a lot to learn, Shigaraki. You're still green. Your little league underestimated all of us. Soul of this young man. The police's diligent investigations. And our righteous fury. Enough is enough. Your game has come to an end, 𝗵𝗲𝗄 Shigaraki. Spinner, all might please. You're the only hero staying respected. You are worthy. 𝗵𝗲𝗄, you think it's over. Don't be stupid. I've only just begun to play. Justice. Peace. You created a garbage society by lifting up such ridiculous ideals. That's why I targeted you, All Might. It's why I started gathering people to my cause. You think this is the end. Then you've lost. 𝗧𝗍𝗪. Just then a red tendril pierced 𝗧𝗍𝗪 in the knocking him unconscious. Magna, what just happened? I couldn't see anything. Did they kill him? I'd shot. I played around with his insides and made him fall unconscious. 𝗵𝗃𝗲 𝗔𝗂𝗫. He was such a nuisance. He had to sleep. GT, weren't you listening earlier? You'll all be better off if you take us seriously. Kenji Hikishi. Atsuhiro Seiko. Shuichi Iguchi. Himiko Toga. Jean Babigawara. Whatever Mustard's name is. Izuku Midoriya. Though they had little time and information, the police worked through the night to discover your true identities. Do you understand? There's nowhere left for any of you to run. So, Shigaraki, one question. Where is your boss hiding? Before anyone spoke, they heard some laughter. It came from Izuku. Izuku, amazing heroes, Mizuku. All of you are amazing. No corruption at all. That makes me happy. GT, what are you talking about? Izuku, haven't any of you stopped and noticed what the Hero Commission has been doing behind your back? The heroes that operate under them are one of the main reasons for there being so many villains now. 𝗵𝗲𝗄𝗧𝗏 Woods. That's a lie. Izuku, really? Then where were the heroes when we needed them? When we were abandoned, abused, discriminated against, and looked down upon by those who were stronger than us. Every hero that came to us only saw us as a nuisance. They wouldn't even give it a second glance. They left us on the streets and abandoned the people they were supposed to help. The heroes that work for the Hero Commission, all of them, corrupted and self-indulgent. They turned us into villains. The heroes looked at them with a look of shock and surprise. Some knew that the Hero Commission was working behind their backs, but to learn that they were the main cause for the creation of these so-called villains. Izuku, I was the latest, thanks to the discrimination of my schools and society. I was beaten to near death almost every day for 10 years. Don't believe me. Izuku then uses ravaging rot to rot the branches that were holding him. Just as the heroes were about to recapture him, he removes his shirt, revealing his body riddled with scars, some of which looked like they were from explosions. This sight horrified the heroes. Izuku, this is what this corrupt society has done to me. Whenever I asked for a hero's help, they'd either ignore me or just hurt me because of my quirklessness. You real heroes never even knew about this, and now you see just how much we have suffered. Are you worthy enough to call yourselves real heroes? 𝗵𝗲𝗄𝗧𝗏 sends more branches as Izuku puts his shirt back on, recapturing him. Izuku, you notice some of those scars were caused by explosions, and guess who did them? They turned to 𝗵𝗃𝗃, who is silent. Izuku, that's right, 𝗵𝗃𝗃 was the one who did this to me. Don't blame me for all the injuries I've inflicted on him. That's nothing compared to how much I've suffered. The heroes couldn't believe it. A hero student caused all that to just one boy, and he was the most powerful in his class. This made All Might feel powerless to even save this broken boy. Izuku, he'll be fine. Eventually, the heroes will help. I'm sure that's what everyone thought as they looked away and ignored us. The world shouldn't be so unforgiving. We didn't do anything wrong back then, but now we are here for each other. 𝗳𝗵𝗲 looked at Izuku and he gave a tearful smile, as it was the same words his 𝗵𝘃𝗲 had told him when he was found. 𝗳𝗵𝗲, this is not over. Just you wait. The game is still mine. Just know I'm not giving up my 𝗵𝘃𝗲's location. Now or ever. Suddenly black slime portals appear behind the bar as two Nomu come through. 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗏. How'd they get here? What is this? GT, damn it, 𝗳𝗏𝗃. Stop 𝗧𝗍𝗪. 𝗳𝗏𝗃. He's still out. This isn't his doing. GT, they keep on coming. More Nomu appears. Don't release them under any circumstances, got it? 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗏. Suddenly 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃 starts regurgitating the same black slime. 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃. Before All Might could grab him, he was warped away. No. The heroes start fighting the Nomu. Then 𝗳𝗵𝗲𝗃 uttered a single word. 𝗳𝗵𝗲, 𝗵𝘃𝗲𝗃. Suddenly the whole league, including Izuku, 𝗵𝘃𝗃, and the bookkeeper, regurgitated the same black slime as it enveloped their bodies, and they disappeared. They then reappear in a different location, coughing up the slime. Spinner 𝗵𝗃𝗃. That was so gross. Twice. This black stuff reeks. / I love it. Izuku, man, couldn't give us a warning, could you? 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃. That was so gross, and I eat books for crying out loud. Bookkeeper. Coughing, man, that was uncomfortable. 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃. Wait, you can talk. Bookkeeper. Yeah, sorry boss, I just never had anything to say. 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃. Well, it's definitely a surprise. I'll have to get used to it eventually. The bookkeeper picks 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃 up as they all turn to face AFO. 𝗳𝗵𝗲, 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃. Izuku had read up on AFO when he joined up with the League. Despite information about him being erased, there were still some that were overlooked, and now he gets to meet the man in person. It's said that after being mortally injured by All Might years ago, AFO's face was entirely made up of scar tissue, extending from above his upper lip and covering his entire head and the back of his neck. As such, he had no visible nose, ears, hair, or eyes, though the outlines of his eye sockets were visible. AFO was blind but used a quirk to see, and he would sense the directions of vibrations in the area around him, similar to echolocation. There was a small hole in each palm of his hands, which is how he stole and transferred quirks. He now dons a navy blue skull-like gas mask with angular tubes at the top, a wide collar-like life support system around his neck with additional pipes connecting in the front and back, presumably to help him breathe. 𝗧𝗵𝗃, you failed once more, 𝗵𝗲. But you must not be discouraged. You'll try again. That's why I brought your associates back with you. Even this child, because you judged that he was an important piece on your game board. Holds out his hands, start over as many times as it takes. I am here to provide you with help. All of this is for you. Notices something, There you are. Suddenly, All Might appeared and attacked 𝗧𝗵𝗃. But he was able to catch both his fists. I'll have you return my student, 𝗧𝗵𝗃. 𝗧𝗃, have you come to 𝗧𝗵𝗃 a second time, All Might? The power from both of them created a shockwave that sent the League and 𝗵𝘃𝗀 away. 𝗧𝗵𝗃, it took you long enough to find us. It's only 5 kilometers from the bar to here, and yet it was at least seconds after I sent the 𝗵𝗃 that you arrived. You've gotten weaker, All Might. You're one to talk. It's kind of difficult to ignore that fancy life support mask you've got on. Aren't you overexerting yourself? I won't repeat the mistake I made 5 years ago. You hear me? I will take young 𝗵𝘃𝗀 back. And I will make certain you're locked up for the rest of your sad life. Right along with your despicable League of Villains. 𝗧𝗵𝗃 activates spring-like limbs and air cannon and combined them with a kinetic booster and strength enhancer. 𝗧𝗵𝗃, sounds like you've got your work cut out for you. This will be strong for us both. The blast was able to send All Might away, but they knew he'd be back. 𝗧𝗵𝗃, HM air cannon plus spring-like limbs. Kinetic booster times 4. Strength enhancer times 3. What a delightful combination. Maybe a few more enhancers next time. 𝗵𝘃𝗀 gasped All Might. 𝗧𝗵𝗃, don't you worry. It'll take more than that to 𝗧𝗵𝗃. Get off the battlefield, 𝗵𝗲. 𝗵𝘃𝗃. Hold on, you'll need to boost yourself. Izuku. Izuku smiles and takes out the Book of Vengeance, which 𝗵𝘃𝗀 sees. 𝗧𝗵𝗃, what's that? Another evil book. Have you been holding out on me? 𝗵𝘃𝗃. No, just saving something that'll put you over the top, big guy. Everybody needs a push now and again. Izuku, eat up. Izuku passes the Book of Vengeance to 𝗵𝘃𝗃, who swallows it whole. He then turns to 𝗧𝗵𝗃, and he then shoots purple beams out of his eyes onto the ancient villain. 𝗵𝘃𝗃, now be vengeful. Suddenly, 𝗧𝗵𝗃 was filled with vengefulness, laughing manically. The magic then spreads to all the already summoned monsters. 𝗧𝗵𝗃, now I finally get my revenge. 𝗧𝗵𝗃 uses Rivet Stab and pierces 𝗧𝗃𝗁 in the chest. 𝗧𝗵𝗃, 𝗧𝗃𝗁. Warp them away. Magna, be careful. One of the heroes messed with him and he's unconscious. I'm not sure what's going on, but if you can teleport, why don't you get us out of here? 𝗧𝗵𝗃, my warp power is still new, Magna. There is much I need to learn about it. Its distance is limited, and while he can teleport to specific coordinates, I only transport people to and from my own location. Or, with focus, to or from someone I am very familiar with. That is all. It's easier to have 𝗧𝗃𝗁 do it. Suddenly, 𝗧𝗃𝗁's mist creates a large portal. 𝗧𝗵𝗃, forcible quirk activation. Leave this place. 𝗵𝗃, what about you? They then hear All Might yelling, as he rejoins the fight. 𝗧𝗵𝗃, you're not thinking, 𝗵𝗃. There remains much room for you to grow. I'm your mine. 𝗵𝗃, MSTR. Mr. Compress, let's go, Shigaraki. While our masked lead is keeping All Might entertained, Mr. Compress uses his quirk on 𝗳𝗏𝗍 and grabs him. Izuku, well, I'm not just going to let him fight alone, so I'll give him some backup. Bookkeeper on it. Opens 𝗵𝘃𝗃. Izuku summons some destruction monsters, which were already by 𝗧𝗵𝗃's side, including 3 Infernoxes. Izuku helped 𝗧𝗵𝗃 fight off All Might. They prepare to battle, with some of them keeping 𝗵𝘃𝗀 occupied. Izuku then joins the rest of the League as they escape through the warp gate. Just before Izuku walks through, he hears 𝗧𝗵𝗃 talk to him. 𝗧𝗵𝗃, Midoriya, take care of 𝗵𝗃. Help him to the best of your abilities. You're the kind of person he needs. Izuku, I won't let you down. Izuku then goes through as the warp gate closes. They now find themselves in what appears to be a lab. 𝗵𝘃𝗃. So, this is the secret base where the 𝗵𝗃𝗍 are created. You are correct. They turn around and see the doctor that was spoken about so much. Izuku's eyes widened once he saw him. It was Dr. Tsubasa, or more accurately Kyudai Garaki. He is a fairly old man of a portly and short stature. He is completely bald and has a very large and bushy mustache. As a villain, he wears a rather peculiar set of goggles that are shaped somewhat like gears, along with a white, buttoned-up lab coat. Izuku, I remember you. Garaki, Izuku, you were the one that gave me my quirk examination. Garaki, eyes widen, of course, I remember you. To think that after 11 years we meet again. You're not mad at me for telling you that you don't have a quirk. Izuku, nah, I never hated you. You were just doing your job. However, I am surprised to find that you've been working for AFO this whole time. Garaka, that's good. In any case, you'd better watch how the fight is going. Garaki turns on a monitor showing the fight. Just the scenes after AFO warps the league away. Tamura. No. He falls to the ground heartbroken that his sensei, his guardian, his father figure had been defeated by All Might. Izuku, I'm so sorry, Tamura. I should have left more monsters than maybe Tamura. No, it's alright, Izuku, you did what you could. Even though MSTR was defeated, he was still able to defeat All Might. Society will now fall to pieces as the Hero Commission will start to make things worse. I heard what he told you, and I'm willing to learn from you. Mr. Compress, we can't stay here. They'll try to find this place. Spinner, agreed, we'll need a new base of operation. But where? Izuku, actually, we can help with that. The League was confused by this, but Izuku and 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗏 wanted to keep it a surprise for once Kurogiri and Dabi woke up. Once they did, they retrieved their vehicles and headed back to Mount Fuji. Magna, why are we here? You don't really think we can make a base here, do you? 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏, sure we can, but first, Izuku. Izuku, right. Izuku reaches into his bag and pulls out the snow globe they took from my island. Izuku watched this. Izuku then threw the snow globe into the lava. It then started to boil and the ground shook. Out of the lava emerged a large castle, a lava-themed appearance that would strike fear into anyone foolish enough to approach. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏, League of Villains, I present to you, the Redoubt of Ruination. Izuku, the heroes may have won the battle, but not the war. We'll get stronger as our numbers grow, and once we're ready, we will march into the city and bring the Hero Commission to its knees. Izuku and 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 laughs maniacally. The League was exploring their new base of operations, and they were all amazed by everything it had to offer. Tamura, this is unbelievable. A bit cliché for a villain base, but still it works. Izuku, glad you all like it. Oh, before I forget, we can't let the heroes find out about this place. Deception. The staff glows yellow illusion. Magic erupts from the staff and envelopes the whole castle. Izuku. There, I created an illusion that will hide this place from anyone who would try to look for us. Now then, on to other business. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏. Right, let's see what our new recruits are like. They head off to another room where they find Twice sculpting. Izuku, hey Twice, how are those monsters coming? Twice, great, and thanks for curing me of my multiple personality disorder. I feel a lot more calm without the voice talking, though it does still come out sometimes, but I'm sure we'll figure something out. Anyway, here you go. I only wish I had more time to sculpt more gnomes for you. Twice reveals what appeared to be stone sculptures of gnomes. Izuku, gnomes. Twice, you said no monsters that are welcoming and pointy. Right. Izuku, no, I said new monsters. 𝗵𝘃𝗏𝗏. Well, this could work too. Let me give them a jolt. Twice, this is great. Izuku, thanks anyway, Jean. With most of us still recovering from the attack, we'll need all the help we can get. In any case, if we're gonna win, we'll need to deal a crippling blow to the Hero Commission. Spinner, so what are you thinking? Izuku, the Hero Commission pays some of the heroes that work for them, so if we remove any financial influence they have, then they'll be crippled. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏. I know a guy who'd be perfect for the job, General Magmar. He was my right-hand man. Take charge kinda guy. Tamura, a general. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏, the best. Check page 38. General Magmar was a very well-built monster with large muscles. He had a long black ponytail and a metal mask that hid his mouth. He wore a red cape and a belt. His legs were hooves, making him look like a satyr, and they appeared to be made from hardened magma. Izuku waves the staff over the pages. Izuku, I want to go looting wide and far, so come on out, General 𝗵𝗃. 𝗵𝗃 emerges from the pages ready to serve. 𝗵𝗃, I'm at your command, oh, evil one. Izuku, excellent. Alright, first order of business, since the castle hasn't been used in such a long time, we should start by getting more acquainted with our new home. As for you, it won't be long before the heroes discover our location, so I want you to prepare our defenses and establish traps for in case they arrive. We'll also need your tactical and strategic expertise to prepare for when we encounter any heroes. 𝗵𝗃, very well, it shall be done. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗘, and while he's doing that, let's head out and find more evil books and forbidden powers. We're only halfway done from awakening the Colossus of ultimate destruction. Izuku, right, though, with our growing forces, it might be a good idea to make another mobile fortress. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗘, good idea. Did you hear that, 𝗧𝗏? 𝗧𝗏, I'll get right on it. While 𝗧𝗏 was working on the vehicles, the rest of the team headed out. They traveled a bit till they came to a cave near a forest, and inside was an evil book. The book was red with 2 arrows, medium-sized arrows pointing up and down, and 2 short arrows pointing left and right. The symbol in the center was a yellow diamond with markings that made it look like it was shining, which symbolized greed. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗘, whoa, what a find. The Book of Greed. You want dungeons filled with treasure. Well, you just hit the jackpot, my friends. Mr. Compress. Oh yes, I bet this will let me make greedy monsters that will fill the castle with gold and jewels and more gold. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗘, greed. Greed is good. Izuku. And with this, we might have a way to cripple the hero commission. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗘. Oh, and Izuku, before I forget. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗘 takes on his cloud form and flies above Izuku. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗘, I don't know if I like where this is going. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗘 then hits Izuku with magic lightning. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗘. Whoops, I hope I didn't hit him too strong. Hey old pal, you okay? Izuku's body gets covered in the same inky black substance that made him evil in the first place. It spread throughout his body until he was completely covered. Then it receded, revealing a new Izuku. Just the transformation. Izuku's hair was glowing along with his skin, making a jagged, star-like pattern, where several glowing green veins. Izuku laughs. Okay. Okay. I'm worse than okay. I'm terrible. The evil in me, like electricity. I want to scorch every end of this land from top to bottom. This new power feels amazing. I can't wait to use it. Izuku now spoke in his normal voice, but it was now distorted like he was talking through a voice synthesizer. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗘. Oh yeah, you're back and badder than ever. They both laugh maniacally. 𝗵𝗃𝗃. Whoa, I love the new look, Izu. Izuku, why thank you, 𝗵𝗃? 𝗵𝗃𝗃 blushed as he gave her a gentle embrace. 𝗣𝗵𝗿. So what's our next move? Izuku, first things first, we'll need to grow our army, and I think 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗘 knows where we can find some allies. Izuku takes the Book of Greed and reads through it, before giving it to the rest of the League. They head off to a forest where everything is made of stone. Even the trees are stone. 𝗵𝗃, what are we doing here? There's nothing in this forest worth finding. Everything is made of rock, and even the trees are made of rock. Izuku, calm down, there's a reason why we're here. Look at the rocks more closely. They inspect the rocks and notice that some of them have faces. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗘. Back in the day, 𝗵𝘃𝗃 and I had a whopper of a battle out here. I tried to crush 𝗵𝘃 with the biggest monster horde ever, but he turned the entire forest of Frightwood to stone. Joke's on 𝗵𝘃, because now I can turn all those rocks into Grimrocks. As he says it, he shoots lightning on the rocks, bringing them to life. The stones started to transform into large monsters that looked almost identical to 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏, with a mace-like club in place of a right hand and large wings. 𝗳𝗵𝗲, that's impressive. Izuku, and they are great additions to our growing army. Now then, let's keep searching. We're close to something else. As they continue to explore, one of the Grimrocks finds a hollow area in the earth. The monsters dug it out and found a cave with tons of statues and a large beast and rider in the front. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗘, who? I know some of these guys. That big one on the hound is legendary warlord 𝗃𝗃, and that's his army. Oh ho ho. It's just what we need. Izuku, not only that, but there are 2 Rogals here. We can use their forbidden powers for our cause as well. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗘. Alright, let's zap them. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗘 flies over them in his cloud form and zaps them to life. 𝗵𝗃𝗃 was an armored man who wore a horned helmet and a cape made of 7 ribbons. His left eye was cyan, and his right eye was black. He also carried a large sword with a skull on the hilt on his back. His hound, the 𝗃𝗃𝗃, was a large stone monster with bat-like wings and a wrecking ball-like tail. His army had a similar appearance to the gargoyles, except they didn't have wings, and they were called stone stompers. 𝗵𝗃𝗃 speaks 𝗵𝗃. What did he say? Izuku. That's the ancient language of Kraken, which 𝗵𝗃𝗃 and his 𝗃𝗃𝗃 are well versed in. 𝗧𝗜𝗧𝗟𝗘. What is that on the 𝗃𝗃𝗃's head? 𝗵𝘃𝗃. That's the forbidden power of petrifying quake. It combines the power of petrification with earthquakes. 𝗵𝗃𝗃 experimented with 2 forbidden powers, petrifying power and cracking quake, to create the power of petrifying quake. It can turn anything into stone while shaking the ground like an earthquake. Izuku. Legend has it that 𝗵𝗃𝗃 couldn't control his petrifying quake. He accidentally turned his own army to stone and then buried them in a massive earthquake, which is why they were underground. The symbol appeared to be a red skull made from cracks. Tomura. That does sound powerful. So what about the other 2 forbidden powers? 𝗵𝘃𝗃. Way ahead of you, this one is devious demolition. It can cause any stone structure to fall apart, and we can use the rubble to create new monsters. 𝗵𝘃𝗃 saps the rogel to life, and it gives the forbidden power to Izuku. The symbol on the forbidden power appeared to be something exploding with a wicked face on it. Izuku? Alright, let's test it out. Izuku zaps a stone wall, and a chunk of it fell to pieces. 𝗵𝘃𝗃. Now twice, we need you to carve faces into them. Twice. Right away, sir. Twice creates some clones, and he begins carving faces into the rubble. Once he was done, 𝗵𝘃𝗃 saps them to life. They looked like bricks, pillars, and walls with arms and faces. Spinner, a self-made army nice. So what are we gonna call them? Izuku, how about Rubblers? They cheer happily at the new name. 𝗵𝘃𝗃. Looks like they approve. Now let's get the other one. They go to the next rogel. 𝗵𝘃𝗃. Behold, the powerful power of 𝗵𝗵𝗃 metamorphosis. The symbol on the forbidden power was a red axe with a skull emerging from it. 𝗵𝘃𝗃 saps it to life, and it gives the power to Izuku. 𝗵𝘃𝗃. Bring out the gold we raided from that truck along the way. 2 monsters leave and then return with a chest filled with gold. Spinner. I'm curious. What does it do? Izuku, watch and prepare to be awed. Izuku pointed the staff at it, and the gold turned into lead. Mr. Compress. Hey, did you do something wrong? 𝗵𝘃𝗃. No, we just transformed gold into lead. Laughs Dobby. I don't get it. Isn't it better to turn lead into gold? 𝗵𝘃𝗃. Not if you want to bankrupt the Hero Commission. Tomura. Yeah, I guess that could work. But we don't just use gold anymore. Izuku. This is why I've been studying ways to alter the forbidden power so that it can be used on other precious metals, like turning copper into aluminum and silver into tin. Which is why it's the powerful power of 𝗵𝗵𝗃 metamorphosis. Dobby. I still don't get it. 𝗵𝘃𝗃. It's so powerful, we gotta pause dramatically every time we say it. Magna, whatever. So what now? Izuku, now, we head to town and use the Book of Greed's power to steal all the valuables that they have. They head to the city close to you and Izuku feeds the Book of Greed to 𝗵𝘃𝗃. 𝗵𝘃𝗃. Oh, that is so tasty. It's like potato chips. I just want more. Izuku opens 𝗵𝘃𝗃. Izuku, greedy monsters, come out and steal some stuff. Loot and plunder. You can never have enough. A horde of monsters materialize on the ground in front of the evil mobile. *Burnsy. Grab anything gold or jeweled. Sparks. Treasure. I want treasure. Izuku, now then, let's take everything. The monsters charge into town and start stealing everything they can. They eventually reach you and steal what they can, and for some reason, they take a pink-haired girl from the support course. Once they were done, they returned to the Redoubt of Ruination where the girl, who introduced herself as 𝗵𝗃𝗃, was very fascinated with the vehicles. May, wow, so you're telling me that these vehicles run on actual magic? I've got to see what makes them tick. Magmar. Well then, I guess I'll leave you to it. Magmar leaves while some monsters watch over her. We now go to the throne room, which was filled with gold. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, this is so great. I am literally covered in gold. A golden statue of 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲 is seen behind 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, yeah, very artsy. Now we got work to do. Spinner. Yeah, we didn't just steal all this to live a life of luxury. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, look. I'm so shiny and golden. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, oh brother. This greed thing is going to his head and warping his mind. Izuku? Well, he was holding the book the longest when we first found it. I kind of regret not feeding it to you right away. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲 then walks in. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, Izuku sir. The prisoner seems to be cooperating well despite the circumstances. Izuku. I didn't want to take prisoners, but she was so, golden. The monsters couldn't resist. I've read her file and saw she was also against the Hero Commission's corruption. Make her feel comfortable and have her examine the vehicles. Who knows, she might be a potential ally in the future. Though we are going to have to return her eventually. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲. Yes, sir, I will see to it. Izuku. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, this whole greed thing isn't working. I managed to transform some of the treasure we stole with the powerful power of 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗲's metamorphosis, but the monsters keep hoarding most of it for themselves. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, you're right. All these things distract us from finding more books. To bookkeeper, hey. Rub my chin. I'm thinking to myself. Bookkeeper, yes sir. Does as instructed during May's stay. She managed to help teach the monsters a thing or two about engineering, and managed to make blueprints for future vehicles that they could use. A few hours later, 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲 came back to the throne room. Izuku, so how is Miss 𝗧𝗵𝗲 doing? 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, Miss 𝗧𝗵𝗲 has been very helpful to us, and she's even having a good influence on the monsters. They turn and see some monsters doing some machine work of their own. Tomura, that's good to know, but we're in a bit of trouble ourselves. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, yep. Everyone around here's completely distracted by greed. Izuku and the heroes are still searching for 𝗧𝗵𝗲 and all the stuff we stole, so it will be trouble for us if they find out where we are. We're lucky enough that the deception spell I used is keeping us hidden. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, we could take back Miss 𝗧𝗵𝗲. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, yes, and all this golden treasure. We gotta get back to our core business of being evil. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, but I love my new gold hat. The weight of the hat causes 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲 to crash to the ground. He howls in pain. The rest of them just shake their heads in disappointment. They continue on with their day when suddenly the effects of the Book of Greed start to come back. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, I want more gold. Sparks, you can never have enough gold. Izuku, I can't take it anymore. This is driving me crazy. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, that's it. We're implementing my new plan. Give it all back. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲 drops the coins he was admiring. Izuku and 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, right now. The villains wasted no time. They had all the monsters load the gold and treasure onto wagons that were connected to the evil mobile, and they headed out. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, why are we taking all the gold back? 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, because it's totally ruined our plan to get rid of the Hero Commission's corruption. They see Class 1A arrive and charge at them. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, oh, for the love of monsters. The monsters do the same and attack them, but their numbers drop fast since they are distracted by greed. Dabi, now what? 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, in between reabsorbing monsters, I think we gotta make a deal. Tomura, no way. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, we got no choice. To the heroes, we don't want to fight. We want to make a deal. Achiko, what did he say? Ida, he says they want to make a deal. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, look, we just want to give May 𝗧𝗵𝗲 back. Oh, and all the gold. Mino, Ijiro, that actually sounds like a win-win. Bakugo, no deal. We'll take the gold and you can keep the crazy girl. Himiko, what? 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, some kind of reverse psychology trick. We gotta make some outrageous demands of our own. That's how these things work. Izuku, right? No deal. You take the gold, Miss 𝗧𝗵𝗲, and we want, oh. He spies the sealant tube advertisement billboard on top of one of the shops. A bunch of weatherproof sealant for some, home renovation projects. He leans in closer to the rest of the team. We gotta weather seal the new hot tub. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗲, oh. Good thinking. Bakugo, the crazy inventor for a tube of sealant. Bakugo ponders this proposition. ♯ really? Do you actually have to think about it? Izuku runs to Bakugo and Shinso. Izuku deal. The two groups are standing across from each other in front of the tower. Mei is being held back by 𝗵𝘃𝗍 and Sparks. Bakugo is holding a very large tube of sealant. The two sides glare at each other as Western music plays. Bakugo chucks the tube in between the two groups. 𝗵𝘃𝗍 and Sparks cautiously release Mei, who start making her way over to the heroes. The League of Villains leave and return to the Redoubt of Ruination for some relaxation. 𝗵𝘃𝗍 is squeezing sealant onto a piece of the hot tub, while Sparks holds it upright. Magmar is supervising them. 𝗵𝘃𝗍 accidentally gets some sealant on Sparks' hand, causing it to get stuck on the piece. Mr. Compress is sitting beside his golden statue, the only thing that hadn't been taken back. Mr. Compress, I'm kinda missing the huge piles of gold. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗘, hey, you still got a golden statue. That's quite a conversation starter. Besides, we need to be focused on the big picture. Finding more evil books. Mr. Compress, what's the deal with them anyway? We know they help summon new monsters, but I can tell there's more to it. Izuku, well, looks like the greed finally wore off. And to answer your question, they also serve a large role in 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗘's return. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗘. Yeah, once we get them all, I'll finally be back to my old self. But for now, let's head back to Mount Thunderstrucks and plug these two forbidden powers in. Izuku, right, 𝗬𝗧𝗏. 𝗬𝗧𝗏, I'm on it. 𝗬𝗧𝗏 opens a portal and they walk through it. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 takes on his cloud form and begins channeling his power. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏. Transfer forbidden power. The tablet melts and flows through the staff down to the floor and then up to the 6th stone pillar. Izuku. All buildings will be put out of commission. Now take this powered devious demolition. Once the transference is complete, the symbol on the tablet appears on the 6th stone pillar. The duo then laugh maniacally as 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏's storm dies down. Izuku now for Metamorphosis 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏. Transfer forbidden power. The tablet melts and flows through the staff down to the floor and then up to the 7th stone pillar. Izuku, with this power, will begin the metamorphosis. I give you Metamorphosis. Once the transference is complete, the symbol on the tablet appears on the 7th stone pillar. The duo then laugh maniacally as 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏's storm dies down. Izuku, that's 7, just 3 more and we'll finally bring the Colossus to life. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏. Yeah, now let's head back to base. They go through another warp gate and smile as their team is getting better acquainted with their new home. After the events that have occurred with 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏, the monsters have constructed a vehicle for General Magmar, which he dubbed the 𝗧𝗵𝗏𝗍/Siege Tower. A 6-wheeled vehicle that can transform into a tower. Izuku also requested twice to build stone mobile base for them called the Rolling Headquarters. Unfortunately, he took the term headquarters to literally indane the front to look like a jester's head, which didn't make much sense to them. The hack could also transform into a hovering vehicle dubbed the Flying Airhead. Couldn't find any good images of the Rolling Headquarters or Flying Airhead. They were taking some time off to recuperation from what they went through. Izuku was on the phone talking to his mom. Izuku, hey mom, sorry I haven't called in a while, we've been really busy. Inko, I know sweetie, I saw the news. I know you want to make society fairer, but can you try to tone it down a bit for the time being? Izuku, I'll try mom, love you. Inko, love you too honey. The call ended and Izuku went to the throne room where everyone was waiting. Izuku, good to see you all rested. 𝗵𝗏𝗧𝗏, that was a very nice room, the bed felt great. Mr. Compress, yes, we're all enjoying the new accommodations. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏, that's good. Now before we proceed with our next possible assignment, we need some new allies. 𝗬𝗧𝗏, since you knew AFO the longest, you must know of anyone that would join us. 𝗬𝗧𝗏, yes, I'm already making preparations to search for them. Izuku, good. Oh, before I forget, while we were getting settled in, I had the monsters repair and modify some of your costumes. I hope you'll be proud of our work. Izuku reveals 3 mannequins with 𝗵𝗏𝗧𝗏, 𝗵𝗃𝗲, and 𝗣𝗲𝗵𝗃𝗲's costumes, repaired and improved. 𝗵𝗏𝗧𝗏 now adopted a hooded 𝗬𝗨𝗧𝗟 coat that he wore over his costume. With the addition of 2 additional red cords to connect the hands on his shoulders to the hands on his 𝗬𝗏𝗧𝗏, not bad Izuku. Not much changes, but I like the new look. 𝗵𝗃𝗲 now has a new set of supportive gear. This includes propelled tendril-like blades and a new piped black mask. 𝗵𝗃𝗲, wow, this is amazing, thanks Aizu. 𝗬𝗲𝗿 now wears a long dark blue coat with white cuffs, similar to his previous look, albeit the ends of the coat are not tattered. In addition, he dons a white V-necked shirt with white outlines. The stitches extend not only to his shoulder pads but also to the kneecaps of his. The only things he retains are his silver belt, black boots, and his dark-colored. He also has 3 buttons on both sides of his coat. 𝗬𝗿, I like the new design, it really works for me. Izuku, glad you all like it. Suddenly Izuku's phone rings. He takes it out and sees that it's his mom calling. Izuku, Mom. But I just spoke to her not too long ago. Izuku got a glass of water and drinks a 𝗏. He then answered the phone and the voice that he heard wasn't his mother's. Hello, monster summoner. Izuku said nothing as he recognized the voice as 𝗫𝗏𝗏's, and everyone could hear it thanks to Izuku putting it on speakerphone. Izuku, how did you get this number? 𝗫𝗏𝗏, I didn't need to, I just got it from your dear mother. Izuku, what have you done to her? 𝗫𝗏𝗏, nothing yet, but I'm eager to make a trade. Meet me out on the roof, where you will hand over your staff to me. Do that and I'll let her go. And no funny business or I'll fry her. Once the call ended, Izuku was beyond furious. Not only did 𝗫𝗏𝗏 kidnap his mother, but he also had the audacity to even threaten her. Izuku's grip grew tight around his glass of water, and he shatters it. Izuku, Kurogiri, take me to that location. Spinner, you know it's a trap, right? Izuku, yes, but I can't let him hurt my mother. 𝗬𝗏𝗏, then I'm coming too. It's time I put that 𝗵𝗃 turd in his place. Izuku, alright. Kurogiri opens a portal and they walk through. Once they arrive, they see 𝗃𝗀𝗃 tied up with 𝗫𝗏𝗏's hand pointed at her. 𝗫𝗫𝗏𝗏, good you're here. 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗏, whispers Izuku, look on his belt. Izuku then sees an evil book in 𝗫𝗏𝗏's belt. It was a green book with a circle in the center, 2 long golden arrows pointing up and down, and 4 short arrows pointing in diagonal directions. The symbol in the center was a pair of glowing, squinted eyes with matching scars over them, which symbolized envy. Izuku mined the Book of Envy. No wonder he always wanted to take All Might's place as the #1 hero. 𝗫𝗏𝗏, now come over here and give me the staff. Izuku gave a quick nod towards 𝗬𝗏𝗏, who understood what he was planning to do. Izuku approached the fake hero and held out the staff of 𝗵𝗃𝗃, which 𝗫𝗏𝗏 took. Izuku, now let my mother go. 𝗫𝗏𝗏, I don't think so. 𝗫𝗏𝗏 shoots a fireball at 𝗃𝗀𝗃. Izuku, no. But before the attack hit her, a wall of ice emerged and blocked the attack. They were surprised to see 𝗧𝗱𝗯 had used his quirk to save Izuku's mother. 𝗫𝗏𝗏, 𝗧𝗱𝗯, what are you doing? 𝗧𝗱𝗯, ending this, I won't let you destroy another family like you did ours. 𝗬𝗏𝗏, I couldn't agree more. 𝗫𝗏𝗏, 𝗬𝗏𝗏. 𝗬𝗏𝗏 takes out a water bottle and pours it on his head, which reveals that he is wearing black hair dye and his real hair color is white. Suddenly Izuku recognized the boy that had joined them. Just the identity reveal, 𝗧𝗱𝗯. No way. Toya activates his quirk and fires off an attack which pushes 𝗫𝗏𝗏 away and drops the staff. Izuku grabs it and summons some monsters to help in the fight, and then he runs over to his mom and frees her. Izuku, are you okay, Mom? Did he hurt you? 𝗃𝗀𝗃, I'm fine, sweetie. I'm just glad that you're safe. Izuku, I'm glad you're safe too, Mom, but it's no longer safe for you to go back to the apartment. 𝗃𝗀𝗃, then I guess I'll just have to stay with you, honey. Izuku, that sounds reasonable. Touches earpiece Kurogiri, take my mom to the Redoubt of Ruination, and treat her well. A portal appears in front of 𝗃𝗀𝗃 and she walks through smiling at how far her little boy has come. Once she was out of the fight, Izuku joined Toya, who was now struggling since 𝗧𝗱𝗯 was badly injured. Izuku, your envy too. Become #1 is insatiable, but I know how to end it. Fear and Shocking Scare. Izuku summons the power of Shocking Scare and the Book of Fear, causing the staff to glow blue. He then points it at 𝗫𝗏𝗏 and blasts him with it. Suddenly 𝗫𝗏𝗏 was filled with fear. Izuku, boo. 𝗫𝗏𝗏. 𝗫𝗏𝗏 screams and runs away, but not before dropping the Book of Envy. Izuku picks up the book and reads through it, taking notes as he goes. Once 𝗫𝗏𝗏 returns to his senses, he attacks Izuku, but it is too late. He casts a spell from the book that summons a pair of chains that binds him to the ground and cancels his quirk. Izuku, now to make sure you can't hurt anyone ever again. Envy. Staff glows green, power Rob. Permanent. Izuku points the staff at 𝗫𝗏𝗏, and begins to absorb and steal Endeavor's quirk using a spell from the Book of Envy. Endeavor, my quirk, what have you done? Izuku, it's gone, you won't be abusing it anymore. Izuku then knocks him unconscious and turns and walks towards Shoto. He kneels down and uses healing magic to heal his injuries. Izuku, they're all better. And thanks for protecting my mom. Shoto, I couldn't stand seeing him hurt someone like he did my mom. You know, you just made it easier for the heroes to capture you and the League by saving me. Izuku, true. But as they say, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I'm very grateful that you saved my mom, and hopefully by the end of it all, we won't be enemies anymore. Shoto, we'll see. Izuku then goes over to 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 and feeds him the Book of Envy. 𝗧𝗏 opens a portal, and they escape. Shoto mind, what a strange boy. After they left, a broadcast went out where Toya revealed everything about Endeavor while he was still in his 𝗬𝗲𝗍 disguise. He also revealed his true identity, and all the people who supported Endeavor turned on him. Some even left Endeavor's agency after learning about this and joined the people against their former boss. Just the speech, back at the base. Tomura, well, that's quite the surprise. The supposed dead son of Endeavor joined the League to get back at his old man. That's something enjoyable. Toya, sorry I didn't tell you when we first met. I figured I'd keep you all guessing till the time was right. Magna, well, that was definitely great work, Toya. Spinner, and the #1 faker is finally defeated. Izuku, true. Even if Hawks takes his place, he's not as powerful as us. Tomura, so how's your mother doing? Izuku, she's doing great. She's resting in her new room. But she also mentioned something to me before I came. Does the name Tenko Shimura ring any bells? Tomura's eyes widen, and then he looks at Izuku with uncertainty. Tomura, how does she know that name? Izuku, she said that she had a brother, and he had a son that went by that name. But the whole family died, except their son. She said that she was trying to find him and make him feel like he was part of a family again. Tomura didn't say anything for a moment, and then he gave a light chuckle. Tomura, so I still had more family, and he didn't tell me. So I guess that means we're cousins, Izuku. This revelation surprised everyone present, especially Izuku. Not only did he learn that he had a cousin, but that he was with him the entire time. Moments later, Inko came into the room and Tomura/Tenko hugged her, making sure not to decay her. Then everyone else joined in. The next day, 𝗧𝗏 announced that he was heading out to find someone that AFO had instructed him to find in the event he would be captured. They all understood why and allowed him to do so. Inko was helping around the Redoubt of Ruination by preparing food and teaching the monsters how to cook, and when she found out about Izuku and Himiko dating, she was overjoyed that her son was finding happiness. After 3 days, 𝗧𝗏 returned. Tenko, 𝗧𝗏, you've returned. Have you found who you were looking for? 𝗧𝗏, I have. They hear loud footsteps as the ground begins to shake. They all look outside to see a giant lower leg standing beside the castle. 𝗧𝗏, my comrades, you must realize Shigaraki is not the only person AFO cultivated. Allow me to introduce you to one of his most faithful servants, 𝗳𝗍𝗵𝗃𝗲. 𝗳𝗍𝗵𝗃𝗲, everything is for the glory of my 𝗵𝘃𝗲. 𝗳𝗍𝗵𝗃𝗲 was an enormous giant, about the height of a large tree, or at least 3 building levels or floors with a muscle-bound build. His brown hair was spiky and parts of his body appeared to be jagged, much like rock. His teeth are prominently pointed, his lower canines protruding out of his mouth on either side. Notably, he always carries a portable radio wherever he goes, sometimes even tying it to a rope and wearing it around his neck. And he wears bright black 𝗵𝘃𝗏𝗏. Whoa, now that's a giant. Izuku, incredible, what's his quirk? 𝗧𝗏, the doctor told me that he has a total of 7 quirks. He was the original prototype for creating the Nomu. These quirks are endurance. His original quirk allows him to convert his morale into physical energy, giving him a significant increase in stamina and endurance. Pain blocker, which makes him unable to detect any pain, granting him an immense pain tolerance. Gigantification allows him to grow to gigantic sizes the more he is agitated or excited. He could grow to be at least 25 meters in height. Dog, which provides him with heightened senses of smell and hearing, similar to that of a dog's. Energy saver, this allows his body to function on very small amounts of nutrition and hydration, allowing him to fully function on a minimal amount of sleep. Fierce gain, which allows his muscles to harden at exceptional levels. And finally 𝗏, which allows him to grow mole-like claws from his fingers, spines on his back, and a visor, seemingly part of his lower jaw, shielding his face, to help him dig through the earth, as well as tear through obstacles, such as buildings. All for one gave him this quirk with the purpose of hiding underground. Izuku, 𝗬𝗏𝗏's amazing. Tenko, you did great 𝗧𝗍𝗓, I'm impressed. 𝗧𝗍𝗓, I was also able to find someone else. She escaped from Tartarus, but not before 𝗵𝘃𝗲 could give her an additional quirk. A woman appears before them. She is a tall woman with a curvy body. She has long indigo-colored hair with numerous scattered pink streaks. Her hair was cut shorter. Her eyes are purple with a mauve shade with dark, blue-colored angled eyebrows. She wears a purple sleeveless dress with gold piping around the hem, white zip-up boots with black lines on the front extending to the bottoms and heels, and a metallic utility belt in which she stores her bullets and black leggings. Izuku, you're 𝗂𝗍𝗓 𝗧𝗵𝗲, a former hero who worked for the HPSC. Your code name was Lady Nagant. Lady Nagant, I see you're as smart as he said. Izuku, I'm honored to have you here. Your skills will definitely help us purge the corruption from this society. Lady Nagant, and I look forward to working with you too. Tenko, having someone who knows how the Hero Commission works is going to be very valuable to our effort. 𝗵𝘃𝗏 was able to get the location of another magic book. However, Shigaraki and some of the League are having a meeting with the leader of a Yakuza branch known as the 𝗧𝗍𝗂𝗃 Kichisaki, aka Overhaul. Izuku said that he and 𝗵𝘃𝗏 along with a few other monsters will get the book, while the rest of the League will go to the meeting place. Izuku, are you sure you want to go through with this? The 𝗧𝗍𝗂𝗃 are a group that AFO recommended for recruitment, but the current head is not the kind of person you want to take lightly. Tenko, will be fine. After all, you've gotten the information we need to prepare for the worst. Can you read it back to me so I can have a better understanding of how their quirks work? Izuku, okay. First is Kichisaki, the current leader of the 𝗧𝗍𝗂𝗃. His alias is the same as his quirk, Overhaul. He can deconstruct and reconstruct anything he touches with his bare hands, which is why he always wears gloves. He's also a huge germaphobe. Kai is a pale young man of a narrow build with short, shaggy auburn hair parted to the right. His eyes are thin, iris is small and gold, with relatively long lower eyelashes and small eyebrows. He has 3 piercings in his left ear. He usually has his mouth covered by a plague doctor mask. Kai wears a black dress shirt with matching dress, a pale gray tie around his neck, a belt with a long, thin buckle around his waist, and 3 beaded lobe piercings in his left ear. Over this, he wears a dark olive green bomber jacket with a thick purple fur collar and white lace-up sneakers with tan soles and no socks. Kai's most distinguishing features are the white surgical gloves he wears on his hands and the magenta plague mask he wears over his mouth, which is tipped and embroidered with gold. Izuku next is his second-in-command, Hari Kurono. His alias is the same as his quirk, Chronostasis. It allows him to slow down the movements of anything he hits with his clock hand-like hair. The minute hand slows a target's movements for 1 minute, and the hour hand slows a target's movements for 1 hour. Hari can extend his hair, but only if he is not moving. Hari has fair skin, thin, dark eyes, pointed eyebrows, and pale chin-length hair that forms arrow-shaped clock needles as a result of his quirk. As with the other members of the 𝗧𝗍𝗂𝗃, Hari wears a plague mask, black with gold trim, and circular glasses over his eyes. He can also be distinguished from them by his long white raincoat, with the hood kept permanently up. Izuku, then there is Joy Aranaka. His alias is Mimic, and his quirk is called Mimicry. It allows him to merge his body and mind into an object, granting him full control over the object as if it were his own body. Joy can only use this power on objects the size of a refrigerator or smaller. However, if he was given anything that could boost his quirk, he can use it on larger objects, like the whole floor of a building. He serves as the general manager of the 𝗧𝗍𝗂𝗃. Joy is usually seen inside a black suit that he possesses with his quirk as a means to disguise himself. It appears to be a small black cloak with a short leg and arm-like protrusions, and a white plague mask that he wears as part of the 𝗧𝗍𝗂𝗃, sewn over where his face should be. A New Life, Glitched Book 2. 6K. Izuku wakes up. A warm light shines on him. Is he dead? Why does it smell like a doctor's office? OF, it is a doctor's office. Izuku gets reborn into a new life 𝗧𝗵𝗃 after his 𝗵𝘃𝗲 died. Izuku prepares to cleanse the world of those that poison it. And when he free himself from his tormentors, he'll no longer suffer. Izuku's Unju's Deku Multiverse, 𝗵𝗃𝗃 Deku Multiverse. Watch with the characters of My Hero Academia as they watch different universes of Deku. Villain Deku, Vigilante Deku, Hero Deku, Quirkless Deku. Everwalker's World, A Boy's Stand, Telltale the WhatIf. This is a story that I don't really do much of on this platform. And it is Midoriya Izuku in the zombie apocalypse. I mean, look how the last story where I took that Prem Heroes vs 7K3K Nizu decides to start a new game for UA and quote, Heroes vs Villain War and quote, there will be a leader of each group. But what happens when Izuku Midoriya is chosen as the Vil Waves, Kiribaku Deku, K4K rankings, number 1 in Kiribaku Deku, number 3 in Pro, Kiribaku Deku. It comes and goes in waves, it always does. It always does. We watch as our young hearts fade into the flood, into Mastermind. Strategist for higher 3KK Izuku Midoriya never got the chance to save Bakugo from the sludge villain and impress All Might. With his dream crushed, Izuku becomes bitter and angry. It also doesn't outside of the bodysuit. Joy is a tall and muscular man. He has visibly pointed facial features, including a spiked nose, a long, square-shaped chin, and a notably large mouth. He has relatively long blonde hair that's worn spiked up and a matching goatee. He wears typical Yakuza clothing in the form of a dress shirt and pinstriped, also sporting suspenders. Izuku. Next are Overhaul's top henchmen, the 8 Bullets. First is 𝗫𝗵𝗲. His quirk is called Confession. It allows him to force his victim to answer with the truth after asking them a question. Shin is a slim man with short, light-colored hair that he wears parted with bangs hanging down his forehead. Shin wears a black cape, a pair of baggy 3/4, a black bowler hat, and pale sneakers. Like the other 8 Bullets, he sports a black plague mask. Izuku. Then there's Rukia Katsuki. His quirk, Energy SCK, allows him to siphon away other people's stamina by inhaling their strength away from them. He can use this stolen stamina to increase his size and strength greatly. To use his quirk, Rukia needs to be touching the target. Rukia is a large, tall, and very muscular man. He wears a black tank top with a standby symbol, probably referring to his quirk. On his back, it's possible to see a metallic seat that he uses to carry other 𝗧𝗵𝗃 members like Mimic. Rukia also wears olive drab jeans with an armor-looking belt. He wears a pair of blue socks and orange sneakers as well. He also wears massive gauntlets and knuckle dusters on his fists. Like every other 𝗧𝗵𝗃 member, Rukia wears a plague mask. In his case, it is black with red lines, white eyes, and a golden detail around the neck. It also covers his whole head. Izuku. Next is Toya Setsuno. His quirk, Larceny, allows him to instantly relocate an object from someone else's possession to his own hands. He needs to be able to see his target, and there is a limit to size of what he can steal. Toya is a tall, lean young man with light, almond-shaped eyes. Their irises visibly small, with prominent dark circles around them. His hair is chin-length and bright golden blonde color, worn parted to his left to obscure his right eye. Toya has a wide mouth with mainly straight teeth and thin eyebrows that are usually pointed upwards. These, and the notable wideness of his eyes, give him a permanently crazed look. Toya wears a gray, dark green in the anime dress shirt with a light orange tie, pink in the anime, as well as dark and a beak-shaped plague mask that's worn by all of the 8 Bullets. Izuku. Along with him, there's Yu Hojo with his quirk, Crystallize, which grants him the ability to produce sharp, durable crystals from his skin. This power is effective for both close-ranged offense and defense. He can grow his crystals into a sword around his arm. Yu is a tall, muscular man with shadowed eyes and his head shaven to use his quirk more efficiently. He wears a dark dress shirt, the top few buttons left undone, and plain along with a pair of black dress shoes. Yu's choice of mask is a simple medical mask that he wears over his mouth, unlike the signature beak-like mask worn by the rest of the 8 Bullets. Izuku. And then there's 𝗬𝗵𝗃𝗃 and his quirk, Food, which allows his teeth to chew through and consume any solid substance easily, no matter how durable. His stomach can quickly digest whatever abnormal substances he has eaten with no trouble. 𝗧𝗵𝗵𝗃 is a slim man with circular eyes, dark eye bags, and short, unruly black hair. He also has a notably large mouth, possibly due to the nature of his quirk and straight teeth. He wears a ragged burlap sack mask that covers his entire head and is held by a rope knot around his neck. The mask has two openings from where 𝗧𝗵𝗵𝗃's eyes are visible and a stitched smile. He also wears a purple dress shirt and gray Izuku. Then there's 𝗣𝗲𝗧𝗟𝗘 and his quirk, 𝗧𝗏, which allows him to subject nearby people to severe dizziness and inhibit their sense of balance, putting them in a state similar to being drunk. 𝗣𝗲𝗧 is a very skinny and bony but muscular man with long, greasy black hair, reaching just below his shoulders, circular and rather deep-set eyes, and notably straight teeth. Like all members of 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘, 𝗣𝗲𝗧 wears a mask, his one being plain and having drains fitted into the eye holes so that the alcohol he consumes can drip through. Aside from that, 𝗣𝗲𝗧 wears nothing but a furry vest and dark with black shoes. Izuku next is Kendo Rappa, or as he was known before joining the 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘, the Rapper. His quirk, strong arm, allows him to rotate his shoulders at extreme speeds, allowing him to attack his targets with a near-endless barrage of bullet punches. His quirk can only stay active for a few seconds at a time, but this is all the time Kendo needs to wear down his opponents. Kendo is a huge, muscular man with long, light brown hair. His face is hidden beneath the plague mask given to him by the 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘, and he dons a tattered t-shirt and dark covered by a light blue tunic and decorated with two belts. Kendo also sports his signature gloves, which cover his hands and wrists with several 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘 straps and his knuckles with metal. Izuku, and finally, there's 𝗳𝗏𝗄 𝗺𝗃𝗓 and his quirk, barrier, which allows him to materialize an extremely durable dome-shaped force field around himself. The strength of the force field has been compared to that of a steel wall. This quirk can be projected at a range of 𝗳𝗏𝗄s, choosing with 𝗳𝗏𝗄 himself at the center. It is not known if the size affects the durability of the quirk. Despite being very sturdy, the barrier can be broken if an extreme amount of power is used against it. Also, if 𝗳𝗏𝗄 becomes too weakened or injured, he becomes unable to summon more barriers. 𝗳𝗏𝗄 is a tall, slim man with short, spiky hair of a pale color. He has straight, dark eyebrows and thin eyes, their irises and pupils visibly light, but he is usually seen with his eyes closed. He wears a traditional dark-colored yukata with a pair of 𝗬𝗏𝗃 on his feet, a long white piece of cloth acting as a belt around his waist. As with the other members of the 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘, 𝗳𝗏𝗄 wears a plague mask, his being a plain brown one worn strapped to his face with three belts, one down his forehead and one on each side of his face that also cover his ears, like mufflers. Tenko, thanks for the info, Izuku. We'll handle the rest from here. Izuku, okay, but I'm leaving some monsters with you in case things take a turn for the worse. Izuku summons some monsters and instructs them to protect his friends should 𝗲𝗏𝗃 and his men attack them. Izuku and 𝗵𝘃𝗃 got onto the 𝗲𝗏𝗍𝗃 and drove off. They drive for a bit until they reach a hotel. 𝗵𝘃𝗃, I'm telling you, there's an evil book around here somewhere. Izuku, so spread out and find it, our monsters. The monsters do as instructed and spread throughout the hotel, while Izuku and 𝗵𝘃𝗃 go inside. Izuku, that evil book is here. This looks like a really nice place. Bet it's a 4-star place. Owner, 5 stars actually. Do you have a reservation, Mr. Broccoli here? Izuku, no we don't. You see, we're here looking for an evil owner. No, I'm sorry, I can't help you with anything if you don't have a reservation. 𝗵𝘃𝗃, 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗍𝗃 it was here. It was right here. Owner, Manuel. Could you throw this boy and his talking book back out onto the street? 𝗵𝘃𝗃, hey, personal space here, personal space. The concierge named Manuel pushed them outside and then threw them out. Izuku. Manuel goes to Izuku and holds his hand out. Izuku, groans, he throws me out. Then I have to tip him. Tips the Manuel, what kind of a cruel joke is this? 𝗵𝘃𝗃. Laughs, just the kind of thing caused by the Book of Cruelty. That's the evil book, it's here. We've gotta spread out and find it. They do as instructed and search through the hotel. They check the golf course, the cafeteria, and even the rooms, but no luck. Izuku and 𝗵𝘃𝗃 approach the owner. Izuku, look, you're not being very helpful. Owner, you're correct, brat, but that is my job. 𝗵𝘃𝗃. Just tell us where the book is that was sitting right here, pal, or we'll tear this place apart. Manuel, One of the guests took it. Izuku, well, where is he? Manuel holds out his hand. Izuku groans and tips Manuel. Points up, they look up. Izuku, 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃. I knew this hanging around Gigi was getting old. Falls on top of Izuku, 𝗵𝘃𝗃, and bookkeeper, and runs away. Izuku, get him. The monsters chase after 𝗵𝗃𝗃 throughout the whole hotel, which he booby-trapped while they were looking for the book. Eventually they chased him outside where he fell into the evil mobile. Izuku gotcha. Takes the book from 𝗵𝗃𝗃 and chuckles. The book of cruelty was pink and purple. The circle and arrows were in the shape of a rhombus, and the symbol in the center looked like 3 squiggly lines moving diagonally upright, with the bottom one appearing like something was leaking out of it, which symbolized cruelty. Izuku reads through the book and takes notes before closing it. Izuku, you should learn to be a better tipper. Tips Manuel, thank you. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, Izuku. You don't need another evil book, especially one this cruel. Izuku, oh, what happened to Deku? Got tired of that old nickname already. Listen carefully, 𝗵𝗃𝗃. We need all the evil books we can get. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, Izuku, we used to be friends, don't you remember? 𝗵𝘃𝗃. What he remembers is that nobody ever stood up for him, except me and the League. We're standing by him and helping him be somebody. 𝗵𝗃𝗃. Being evil and cruel doesn't make you important. It makes you sad. Izuku, I tried being nice, but every time I was left in the dirt like I didn't matter. I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing this for everyone who was wronged by society. Until you can prove to me beyond a shadow of a doubt that you aren't just the same bully who used to use me as a punching bag, we're not friends. I've chosen my path and I'm sticking with it to the end. Okay, 𝗵𝘃𝗃, eat up. Izuku feeds the book of cruelty to 𝗵𝘃𝗃. 𝗵𝘃𝗃. I love the taste of cruelty in the morning. It tastes like monsters. 𝗵𝘃𝗃 opens to the section for cruelty monsters, and Izuku waves the staff over the pages. Izuku. Monsters. 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 Fiery and cruel. Be horrible and mean, and show that I'm no fool. Monsters erupt from the pages, and they start rampaging throughout the hotel, capturing the staff and tying them up at the golf course. Beastmaster, what should we do with them, Izuku? Izuku, leave them here. We have somewhere else to be. So until next time. They all go to their vehicles and drive to the warehouse where the meeting is being held. On their way, some of the defeated monsters returned to 𝗵𝘃𝗃, which made them worried. When they arrived, they saw that the place was in shambles. And only a few monsters were left. He sees that everyone was still alive, but Mr. 𝗵𝗃𝗃 was missing his left arm. Izuku, what happened? They explained what had happened when they were gone. Magnet doesn't die, Magna. I'm just glad that 𝗃𝗏𝗏 was able to prevent him from using his quirk on me. I'm really sorry, I just got really mad. Izuku. No need to apologize. Now we know that the 𝗧𝗍𝗧𝗍𝗃 are not to be trifled with. We'll need a better plan in the event we have to face him again. For now, let's head back to the Redoubt of Ruination and get some rest. They all agreed with the monsters helping Mr. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, who received most of the damage due to him losing his arm. They returned to the Redoubt of Ruination and rested up for what was to come next. Izuku, I can't believe all this happened while I was gone. Tenko, I'm just glad we're all still alive apart from a few monsters, but we held our ground. 𝗵𝘃𝗃, so what now? Tenko, I think it's best if we try to negotiate with him. That bullet that hit 𝗵𝗃𝗃 before temporarily deactivated his quirk, and I want to know how it works. So I'll take him up on his offer and meet him tomorrow. Izuku, okay, just stay safe, Tenko. The next day, Tenko went to talk to Overhaul. Later he returned with his report. Twice, you want us to work with the 𝗧𝗍𝗃? Tenko, yeah. Why do I have to keep repeating it? Their plan has some serious potential. So from today on, Toga and Twice will be Yakuza members. He also wants Izuku and 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃. Twice, I don't find this joke humorous. That's hilarious, Shigaraki. Tenko, it's too important. There's an underground route you can take to. Twice, what are you thinking with this stuff? Stop pretending everything is cool. Where are you letting this beak-faced loser give you orders? Almost killed Big Sis Mag. And he took Mr. 𝗵𝗃𝗃's arm. Did you just forget? And it's all my fault. I brought him to meet with you. I may be a villain, but I'm human too. We all are, man. Come on, Toga. Don't you agree with me? Himiko. The question I've got for you, Tamura, is what we mean to you. To me, The League is a place where I feel at home. I joined you 'cause of Mr. Staney. To make the world a place where I can do whatever I want and live freely. It'd be such a bummer to get distracted from my goal. Puts her knife to Tamura's neck. I guess what I'm wondering is, why should I do something I don't want to do with people I want to cut? Tenko takes off the hand on his face. It's simple. Because this is for us. They want to keep the League in check. So they'll try to win you two over, little by little. I want you to infiltrate them. Flatter them. But never forget they're beneath us. Twice, you said they have to pay for what they did. We'll make sure they do. This will work. I believe in you guys. And Izuku, I trust that you will deal with Overhaul directly should the need arise. Izuku, he won't know what hit him. They agree to the plan and head to the base of the 𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗏. They are in a meeting room with all the top-ranked members of the 𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗏. Himiko, my name's Toga and I was told I had to come here. Hiya. Twice. Long time no see, Birdman. Be warned. I'll never forgive you. / so happy to be on the team. Izuku, my name's Izuku Midoriya. It's nice to meet you all. 𝗵𝘃𝗲. The name's 𝗵𝘃𝗲, glad to be here. And this is the bookkeeper. Bookkeeper, hey. Overhaul. Wonderful. Rappa. The League of Villains. This is perfect. Let's brawl. Twice, I'll kill you. Himiko, yeah, no thanks. Izuku, sorry, I'm more of a strategist and support person than a brawler, though I could summon 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 and 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 to brawl with you later. Rappa? Alright. Overhaul. Sorry about your little pet thing. It's unfortunate. I didn't want to kill it. 𝗵𝘃𝗃. It's no big deal, I'll just summon him again when we need him. Overhaul. Anyway, this is no time to be holding grudges against each other. We're on the same team now. I want your help with my plan. Twice. BSTRD. You tried to play it cool the first time we met too. Like you don't care about anything. / so what are my orders? Overhaul. Just follow my instructions like everyone else in the organization. But first things first. I want the details of your quirks. It'll be easier for us to work together if I fully understand what you can do. Himiko, I think I'll tell you about my powers when you need to know about them. Oh, and just so we're clear, I still don't like you people. Mimic. So much for making a good impression. Don't underestimate the Yakuza. Yells twice. I agree with Toga. We'll tell you when we feel like it. Won't get nothing out of me. No way. My lips are sealed. Minamoto, what is your quirk? Izuku, don't bother trying to hide it. That's Shin Minamoto's quirk. He can force anyone to answer his questions truthfully. Shin, and what about you? Izuku, I'm quirkless. The power I have isn't a quirk. 𝗵𝘃𝗃 taught me magic, a power that existed long before the age of quirks. I used the staff to bring his pages to life in order to summon monsters. Overhaul. Well, that certainly wasn't expected. Minamoto, one more thing. Did Shigaraki say anything about betraying us? Twice, nope. Himiko, no. Izuku, never. 𝗵𝘃𝗃. Of course not. Bookkeeper, no. Overhaul, okay then. I'll accept you as members of the 𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗏 now. But wanted criminals like you need to stay out of sight. Unless I say otherwise, don't leave the underground facilities. Twice house arrest. Ah, that sounds super lame. Overhaul, once I trust you a little more, you can do what you want. But you'll have to prove yourselves. Though I would like the kid and his book to be within my field of vision. Izuku, yes sir. 𝗵𝘃𝗃? Whatever. They follow behind Overhaul to another area. Izuku, from what Tamura told me, you were able to temporarily deactivate Mr. Compress quirk. How'd you do it? Before Overhaul could answer, something bumped into Izuku. He looked down to see a small girl with bluish off-white hair, messy and unkempt, which is parted in the middle of her forehead, almost reaching down to her waist. She has very wide, innocent-looking eyes, which are bright red in color. Poking out from the right side of her forehead is a small, brown horn. She's wearing a plain, short-sleeved dress, which is a dirty, pale tan color. Bandages are wrapped around both her arms and legs, stopping at her wrists and ankles, underneath which she is shown to have numerous scars. Izuku mind, huh? What's a little girl doing here, and why are her arms wrapped in bandages? Overhaul, what are you doing out of your room? The girl flinches. Izuku mind, why is she trembling? Please help me. Guard, I'm real sorry, boss. I swear, I barely took my eyes off her. The kid made a break for I. Overhaul kills the man. Overhaul, 𝗧𝗃 clean that up. 𝗧𝗃, right? Izuku mind, just one touch, and he was dead. But what is he doing with this girl? Izuku picks her up and holds her close. Overhaul, follow me. Izuku and 𝗵𝘃𝗏 said nothing, but they did as instructed, all the while looking at the girl with concern. They find themselves in a room filled with medical equipment, most of which are meant for BLD extraction. Then they remembered what 𝗳𝗵𝗲 told them before they left. Flashback 𝗳𝗵𝗲, when we analyzed the bullet that hit 𝗵𝘃𝗏, we found traces of human BLD in them. Though we want to get those bullets, I can't condone human experimentation. Flashback and Izuku mind, don't tell me. He's using her BLD. Izuku seethed with anger, but he couldn't blow his cover just yet. Overhaul, 𝗧𝗍𝗍, you have to stop. Disobeying me like this. You're the core of my plan, and I would hate to have to get my hands dirty. Overhaul urged the girl who was named 𝗧𝗍𝗍 to get into the chair, but she was scared. Izuku got close to her ear and whispered something to her which only 𝗵𝘃𝗏 and bookkeeper could hear. 𝗧𝗍𝗍 seemed to have calmed down and went over to the chair. Izuku mind, don't worry 𝗧𝗍𝗍. We'll save you and get you away from him. When the heroes attacked, Izuku and 𝗵𝘃𝗏 joined Overhaul and 𝗧𝗃 as they were taking 𝗧𝗍𝗍 and the finished bullets with them. We now go to when 𝗵𝘃𝗍 is about to protect 𝗧𝗍𝗍 from the bullet. Izuku had summoned some monsters to help, but they were being overwhelmed by 𝗵𝘃𝗍. Now Minamoto fires the bullet and 𝗵𝘃𝗍 rushes over to protect 𝗧𝗍𝗍. Izuku agreed. Staff glows red snatch. The bullet vanishes, surprising them. Minamoto, where did Izuku envy? Staff glows green power Rob. Taps the staff on the ground, a stone pillar emerges and slams Overhaul against the wall. The wall then morphs and restrains him while his gloves reform on his hands. Overhaul, what are you doing? Release me. Izuku, how about no? This is payback for attacking the League, but also payback for what you did to 𝗧𝗍𝗍. Now agreed. Staff glows red snatch. 𝗧𝗍𝗍 disappears and reappears in Izuku's arms. Izuku, it's okay now 𝗧𝗍𝗍, I won't let anyone hurt you again. 𝗵𝘃𝗏. Great use of some spells from the Book of Greed and Book of Envy. 𝗧𝗍𝗍, will the bad man hurt me more? Izuku, no, we're taking you away from him. You're a real hero 𝗵𝘃𝗲, so I won't get in your way. But so long as there are people like Chisaki in this world, I can't let you take 𝗧𝗍𝗍. 𝗵𝘃𝗍, I won't let you take her. You wanted to be a hero in the past. So please turn yourself in, and maybe you can get a lighter sentence and a chance at rehab. Izuku, I'm sorry, but I made a promise to 𝗧𝗍𝗍 that I would take her away from this nightmare and protect her. Flashback Izuku whispering, it's okay 𝗧𝗍𝗍, my friends and I will get you away from him, but you have to be brave and do as he says till then. Can you be brave for me? Flashback and Izuku, and decides, you think they would show mercy to a quirkless villain? Didn't you get the report on what I said back in Kamino? So long as there's corruption in society, no one is safe, not even her. Suddenly the wall breaks and they see Melissa coming in along with 𝗧𝗍𝗍𝗏. Melissa, we're here 𝗵𝘃𝗏. 𝗵𝘃𝗏, glad you could come. 𝗧𝗍𝗍𝗏, looks like Chisaki is already down, good job 𝗵𝘃𝗍. 𝗵𝘃𝗍, it wasn't me sir, it was him. They turn and see Izuku holding 𝗧𝗍𝗍 along with 𝗵𝘃𝗏. Melissa, Izuku. Izuku, hello Melissa, it seems fate has brought us together again. Just like All Might and AFO. Melissa, please, hand over 𝗧𝗍𝗍 and walk away. Izuku agreed. Staff glows red snatch. Suddenly Melissa appeared in Izuku's grasp. Izuku, I'm sorry Melissa, but I've already made my choice. 𝗵𝘃𝗏, he used one of the powers from a book. I gotta save her. 𝗧𝗍𝗍𝗏, no, he won't kill her, it's against his morals. Izuku, true, but I can do this. Evil. Staff glows purple touch of evil. By using the powers from the Book of Evil, I can turn anyone I touch evil as well, though this is much weaker than touching the actual book, so the effect will wear off in a few hours, but that should be enough time for us to get away. Izuku's hand gets covered in the same black substance that turned him evil to begin with. He then touches Melissa and it begins to cover her. Izuku lets her go as she stumbles to the ground and emerges with a new appearance. Melissa. Evil laugh, now this feels amazing. Melissa then starts attacking 𝗵𝘃𝗍𝗏, but 𝗧𝗍𝗍𝗏 gets to Izuku and touches him using his quirk, and what he saw made his eyes widen. Then he lets go. Izuku. 𝗵𝘃𝗏, Eri and the monsters leave. Izuku, until next time, heroes. Mirio, sir, why'd you let them get away? Sir Night-Eye, Mirio, I saw his future. Mirio, what did you see? Sir Night-Eye lets out a few tears and smiles. Sir Night-Eye, I saw hope. Izuku and his team regrouped with Toga and Twice, whose mask was torn a bit. They returned to the Redoubt of Ruination, where they put Eri into one of the spare bedrooms. Inko was overjoyed to see such a cute little girl. Magna, glad you're back, guys. By the way, we've got 2 new allies. Izuku, alright, show them in. The duo walked into the room. The first is a man with a refined appearance. He has a slicked-back hairdo with a curl at the front, a handlebar mustache, and a well-kept, medium-sized beard. He has thick black lines around his eyes resembling eyeliner, which he applied himself with a marker. His clothes are also quite extravagant, featuring a dark purple jacket with enlarged collars and coattails, a pair of loose, pinstriped, and 2 belts. He also wears a pair of cuffs, purple gloves, and a woolly scarf of the same color. He is seen using a cane to walk. The other is a very short young woman with quite a large round head compared to her narrow body. She has raspberry pink hair, which she wears up in 2 high pigtails, wide and thick at the top and thin at the bottom, the ends curved upwards to the sides at her waist, their edges trimmed straight. She has a single bang in the middle of her forehead, swept pointedly to her right, and very large, pointed-down eyes with dark rings on the underside of each, 2 longer eyelashes to each far side, which take up most of her face. Her irises are oval-shaped, pink in color, and each has 2 circles between their small pupils and their rims, giving them a rather hypnotic look. Her outfit is quite elaborate, consisting of a big white bow at her neck, matching the thick white gloves she wears, an indigo shirt with large buttons and long, upturned frilly sleeve cuffs, and a pair of white, pinstriped, which are very poofy, making her legs seem bigger than they are. She sports several heart motifs, such as heart earrings, heart-shaped buckles on the 2 thin, golden belts around her waist, and a wide heart design over the tops of her legs. She also wears dark tights underneath her, over which she wears a pair of shiny high-heeled boots. Izuku, the local vigilante who live streams his crimes, 𝗳𝗲𝗄𝗵𝗃, or Gentle Criminal. Gentle. It is quite an honor to meet you, Izuku of the League of Villains, though I don't see the rest of your comrades. Izuku, they're odd somewhere else at the moment. And I take this young lady as your partner, 𝗵𝗃𝗏, or 𝗧𝗵𝗲 if I'm not mistaken. 𝗧𝗵𝗏. You got that right, broccoli boy. Twice. It's nice to meet you both. Himiko, you're so cute, 𝗧𝗵𝗏. We must do styling together at some point. Magna. Well, when you're done, I can show you to your new rooms. Gantel. That would be lovely. They follow behind Magna to their new rooms. The rest of the League return not long after, and Izuku sees 𝗵𝘃𝗏 back in full health with a new prosthetic arm. Izuku, glad you all came back. I was starting to get worried. Spinner. It took longer than expected, but we got some payback for what he did. Toya. We also go hold of both versions of the cork erasing bullets. Himiko. How did it go? Tenko. It went a little something like this. Tenko does a flashback to when they attacked the truck carrying Overhaul. Just the part where they attack the truck, also Snatch isn't killed. I couldn't find any other videos about the League's revenge on Overhaul. Skip to 121. He deserved it. Eri was peeking out from behind Izuku's legs. Izuku? It's okay, Eri, they're more of my friends. This is Toya Todoroki. Toya, yo. Izuku Shuichi Iguchi, or Spinner. Spinner, hey. Izuku Atsuhiro Seiko, or 𝗵𝘃𝗏. 𝗵𝘃𝗏, it's a pleasure to meet you. Izuku and my cousin Tenko Shimura. Tenko, it's nice to meet you, Eri. I hope we can make you smile again. Izuku, Mum, why don't you take Eri to her room? I had the monsters prepare it in advance. Inko, sure honey, let's go, sweetie. Eri was hesitant, but she trusted Izuku and followed Inko. Izuku, I hope she'll be happy. Monstrox. Don't worry, Izuku, she'll be fine. Not only that, but we also took out one of the major criminal organizations in Japan. That's something to celebrate about. Izuku? Yeah, you're right. Himi, care to join me in a dance? Himiko? Sure, Aizu. They danced together while the rest of the League celebrated their victory in their own way, not just the fall of the 𝗧𝗏𝗃, but also their new recruits. Tenko was playing a new video game and won. Twice was talking with Laveria and he seems to be hitting it off. Spinner was sharpening his blade. No surprise there. Magna was talking to a friend on her phone. Mr. Compress was doing a performance. Kurohige got out some champagne for them to drink. Lady Nagant was spending some time to herself. 𝗳𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗃 was in his hibernation state, not much to say there. And Gentle Criminal and La Brava were having tea. The next day Eri came to Izuku and asked for a piggyback ride and called Izuku Papa and Himiko Mama, while also calling the rest of the league either auntie or uncle and Inko grandma. They didn't really mind since it brought some joy in their life. They spent some time together watching different videos until they saw a music video, and for the first time they saw Eri smile. The next day, Izuku and 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 made preparations to find the final 3 forbidden powers. Izuku, don't worry, Eri will be back later in the afternoon. Eri, stay safe, Papa. Izuku, I will, my little snowflake. Izuku, 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏, and the monsters leave to find the final 3 forbidden powers. They travel throughout Japan with the Kraken Beast as their guide. They were riding along until some heroes come out. Kraken Skull, speaking Kraken Beast in a star, it's an ambush. Izuku, get us out of here. They drive away only to have more heroes arrive. Izuku, take Confounding Confusion and head back to the Redoubt of Ruination. Gives the staff to 𝗏𝗏𝗏. What about you? Izuku, I'll be fine, just lead them away, I can handle myself. They agree and head out. Izuku bailed and landed in a bush. Izuku, wow, I'm never doing that again. Just as Izuku was about to leave, he sees a familiar face. Izuku, hello Kaken. Bakugo, Izuku, it doesn't have to be like this. Izuku, yes it does. What do you care? All you've ever done was hurt people who are weaker than you. What makes you think I'll believe you've changed? Bakugo, I can't. I know what I did was wrong, and I know you resent me for what I did, but I'm trying to be a better person to make up for all the horrible things I've done to you. It's a hero's duty to save everyone. That's what you always told me. So I'll save you, even if I have to capture you. Izuku's eyes widened at what his former friend said. Suddenly, all the anger and vengefulness he felt towards Bakugo faded away, and it was replaced with happiness and contempt. His former friend was becoming a true hero and a better person, and he couldn't be happier. Just as Bakugo was about to land a hit in Izuku's chest, the staff of 𝗵𝘃𝗏 appeared between them, and the explosion destroyed the tablet. Izuku looks down to see 𝗏𝗏𝗏, who he told to escape with the staff standing beside him. 𝗏𝗏𝗏, like we'd leave you behind. Rumble then rolls by with Rex, and he grabs both 𝗏𝗏𝗏 and Izuku as he picks up the fragments of the shattered Forbidden Power tablet. They then roll back to the Redoubt of Ruination. Izuku, thanks for saving me back there. Rex, hey, you would have done the same for us. Rumble, yeah, you're our close companion, little man. Izuku, I really appreciate it, though 𝗵𝘃𝗏 is going to be really mad with 𝗏𝗏𝗏 once he finds out that the last Forbidden Power tablet we needed was shattered. 𝗏𝗏𝗏, that would be bad. 𝗵𝘃𝗏 looked at the 𝗏𝗏𝗏 with fury in his eyes. He was not happy that Confounding Confusion was destroyed. 𝗵𝘃𝗏, Confounding Confusion was the 10th Forbidden Power, the last one we needed to lock in at Mount Thunderstrucks to awaken the Colossus. And you lost it. Now we gotta find one more. And that's your job. Izuku, there's no need. I was able to use the energy from the broken tablet and used it to locate another forbidden power, along with the final evil book we need. 𝗵𝘃𝗏, now that's good news. We'd better get that book right now. Himiko, hey guys, check out the new outfit I got for Eri. Eri's outfit is a white dress shirt with a frilled collar and a plain red pinafore with 2 large, golden buttons on either side of her chest. Under this, she wears gray tights and a large set of tan boots, and a small dark red messenger bag with the strap sitting over her right shoulder, and a little floral pattern decorating one of its sides. Her hair also looks to be better cared for, appearing straighter and neater than it was during her time with the 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏. Eri, does it look nice, Papa? Izuku, it's so cute, Eri, I love it. They hug each other. Everyone reacted happily towards Eri's new clothes. Izuku planned to have her spend the day with Inko while they go to find the final book. They arrive at a town and enter the library. They look around to find the book. Tenko, we'd better hurry before the heroes find us. Toya, it's not that easy. There are a ton here. Twice, hey, I think I found it. They all head over to Twice and lo and behold, he had found it. The final book was black with purple markings. There were 8 arrows surrounding the circle, with the top and bottom arrows being slightly longer than the rest, and the symbol in the center was a dagger, which symbolized betrayal. 𝗵𝘃𝗄𝗧𝗏, the Book of Betrayal. Let's check it out before the heroes arrive. Izuku, I'll go through it as quick as I can, then we can take it. Izuku reads through it and takes notes as fast as he could. Mr. Compress, why not eat it now? 𝗵𝘃𝗄𝗧𝗏, I can't. In order for the ritual to work, we need the whole book. Izuku finished going through the book, and then he checks it out of the library. Spinner, now let's go. They were on their way out when they bump into someone. Himiko, hey, watch where you're going. They look up to see the UA students and faculty there. Villains, the heroes. Heroes, the villains. The book. Katsuki quickly snatches it away from Izuku. Izuku, hey, give that back. Katsuki, no way, we're not going to let you take over Japan. 𝗵𝘃𝗄𝗧𝗏, is that what you think we're doing? Oh ho, you couldn't be further from the truth. They were confused by this, but they still tried to keep the book away from the look. They fought over who gets the Book of Betrayal. Every time the villains managed to get it, the heroes snatch it away, and vice versa. Eventually it stopped once ◵𝗪 passed the book to Iida. Iida, I'll get this back to you. They continue to fight each other until Kurogiri pulls them through a portal back to the castle. Tomura, I can't believe they got the last book. Izuku, don't worry Tomura, we'll get it back. Let them have this victory, for soon we will triumph, and the hero commission will fall. 𝗵𝘃𝗄𝗧𝗏, I couldn't agree more. Both. Laughing, just the laughter, we return to the redoubt of ruination as the monsters make preparations for the ritual. While the League were having a discussion. Izuku, the hero students have taken the final book back to Yodabi, so all we have to do is break in and steal it. 𝗵𝘃𝗄𝗧𝗏, that won't be necessary. Spinner, but you said we need to get all the books. Izuku, the final book we need is the Book of Betrayal. We don't even have to go to UA to get it. Magna, I still don't follow. 𝗵𝘃𝗄𝗧𝗏, don't you get it? The power of the Book of Betrayal will turn even their goody-goody hearts black. No worries, they'll bring the book back to us. And not only that, but it will also make them see the corruption in the Hero Commission, so they won't be our enemies for much longer. Izuku, soon our purpose will be fulfilled, and this corrupt society will fall. Izuku, musical notes in the dark of the night. I was tossing and turning musical notes 𝗵𝘃𝗄𝗧𝗏. Musical notes, and the nightmare I had was as bad as can be. Musical notes, Izuku. Musical notes, it scared me out of my wits, a corpse falling to bits. Musical notes 𝗵𝘃𝗄𝗧𝗏. Musical notes, then I opened my eyes, and the nightmare was me. I was once one of the most powerful sorcerers in all the world. Musical notes, Izuku. Musical notes, when the heroes betrayed me, they made a mistake. Musical notes 𝗵𝘃𝗄𝗧𝗏. Musical notes, my curse made each of them pay. Musical notes, Izuku. Musical notes, but then they got in the way. DM President, beware, the monsters are awake. Musical notes, monsters and villains. Musical notes, in the dark of the night, evil will find them in the dark of the night. Just before dawn, a musical notes, Izuku. Musical notes, revenge will be sweet. Musical notes, everyone. Musical notes, when the curse is complete. Musical notes, monsters and villains. Musical notes, in the dark of the night. Musical notes, Izuku. They'll be gone. 𝗵𝘃𝗄𝗧𝗏. Musical notes, I can feel that my powers are slowly returning. Musical notes, Izuku. Musical notes, tie my sash and a dash of cologne for that smell. As the pieces fall into place. Musical notes 𝗵𝘃𝗄𝗧𝗏. Musical notes will see them crawl into place. Das Vidania, MDM, Your Grace, farewell. Musical notes, monsters and villains. Musical notes, in the dark of the night, terror will find them. Musical notes 𝗵𝘃𝗄𝗧𝗏. Musical notes, terror's the least I can do. Musical notes, monsters and villains. Musical notes, in the dark of the night, evil will brew. Musical notes, everyone. Musical notes, soon. They will feel. Musical notes 𝗵𝘃𝗄𝗧𝗏. Musical notes, that their nightmares are real. Musical notes, monsters and villains. Musical notes, in the dark of the night. Musical notes, Izuku. They'll be through. Monsters and villains. Musical notes, in the dark of the night. Evil will find them. Musical notes 𝗪𝘃𝗧𝗏. Musical notes, find them. Musical notes, monsters and villains. Musical notes, in the dark of the night. Terror comes true. Musical notes 𝗪𝘃𝗧𝗏. Musical notes, doom them. Musical notes, Izuku. Musical notes, my dear. Here's a sign. Musical notes, everyone. Musical notes, it's the end of the line. Musical notes, monsters and villains. Musical notes in the dark of the night. In the dark of the night, musical notes. Izuku summons monsters. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗘. Musical notes come. My minions rise for your 𝗵𝘃𝗲, let your evil shine. Musical notes, monsters and villains. Musical notes in the dark of the night. In the dark of the night, musical notes. Izuku. Musical notes, find them now. Yes, fly ever faster. Musical notes, monsters and villains. Musical notes in the dark of the night. In the dark of the night. In the dark of the night, musical notes. Izuku and 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗘. Freedom will be ours. The next day, everyone was making preparations for 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗘's revival. Izuku was looking outside and sees some US school buses arrive, which made him smile. The heroes arrive at the entrance of the Redoubt of Ruination, where 𝗵𝘃𝗲 and 𝗵𝘃𝗃 are guarding the entrance. They step aside as the lava door opens. 𝗵𝘃𝗃 and Izuku walk out to greet them. Izuku, good to see all of you. We've been waiting. Izuku, you sound like you knew we were coming. 𝗵𝘃𝗃, oh, you have no idea. This way. Bakugo gives Izuku the Book of Betrayal, and Izuku now looked at his old friend with happiness, knowing his road to redemption has paid off. They led the students and teachers to the dark arena, where they heard some of the monsters chanting or playing drums. 𝗵𝘃𝗃, behold the dark arena. The dark arena was filled to the brim with monsters. There were 2 new monsters as well, both being humanoid. The first group had mohawks and were playing the drums. They were called crust smashers or evil drummers, while the others wore armor and carried spears. They were ash attackers or evil acolytes. In the center, there was a Nomu chained to a stone slab. It resembled other Nomu but had a large, muscular build and a comparatively long neck, which had several large vertebrae jutting out of it. His skin is dark purple/black, and his head is shrouded in darkness by a hood of skin, with yellow eyes that resemble Kurogiri's as the only facial feature under it. The muscles on his neck and shoulders were left exposed. Underneath his hood, his face consisted entirely of an exposed brain, distorted red eyes, and a mouth full of long, jagged teeth. When they looked around, they also saw cauldrons in front of each pillar where 2 scurries were handling a green smoking liquid. ectoplasm, what do you intend to do with that Nomu? 𝗵𝘃𝗃, he shall serve his purpose at the end of the ceremony. The chanting and drumming continue until 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃 cut. Everyone stopped what they were doing as 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃, and the bookkeeper came in with 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃 wearing a beret. 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃, awful. Totally wrong. This is the most important show any of you will ever be involved with. You gotta do it right. Do you know how much I'm spending on this whole dark arena and the music and the 𝗬𝗏𝗧𝗏 design theme? To Latveria, how much did we spend on music? Latveria, a lot, like all the gold we had left. 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃, really? This is a one-time event, honey. Find some public domain. Evil drummers, you're missing your cue at bar 56. And what's with the lighting? 𝗫𝗏𝗃𝗏, how strong is it to relight QC? Don't know how it's spelled. 𝗫𝗏𝗃𝗏, kind of strong. 𝗬𝗏𝗃, yeah, we can't actually read. 𝗬𝗏𝗃 holds the instructions over the cauldron, and it burns up by accident. 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃 groans in disgust, and the procession of evil acolytes. You blew your entrance again. We open tonight, folks, tonight. My binding is gonna explode before we get this right. The show has to be stupendous, in that it must be horrific. Horrific stupendousness. That's what we're shooting for. 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃. 𝗵𝘃𝗃, yes, sir. 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃, you're the stage manager. You should be kicking some butt here. 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃, yes, but a bad dress rehearsal means a good opening night. 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃. Ugh, platitudes, great. That means you've checked out. To the monsters and the dance moves right before the first intermission. Sloppy, sloppy, sloppy. It's like some of you guys have 2 left feet. One of the ash attackers looks down to see if he meant it literally. 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃, watch me. 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃, to the bookkeeper, dance me around. Bookkeeper nods, yes, sir. Starts dancing 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gyro, this is quite a production. Oh, you have no idea. Once the dance was over, 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃 went over to 𝗵𝘃𝗃 and 𝗵𝘃𝗃, who had just arrived and were standing by one of the podiums. The group decided to go over to him as they were talking. 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗃, it's a simple job. Just make sure all the books of evil are properly aligned on the 11 podiums of pestilence. Got it. 𝗵𝘃𝗃, sure, boss. 𝗵𝗃𝗲, ahem sir, we have visitors. 𝗵𝘃𝗲, we knew you'd come. Finally learned the truth about what's been happening behind your backs. Must have been quite a surprise. Izuku, we're only agreeing to this since we know you wouldn't harm any innocent lives. I just hope we're making the right choice. 𝗵𝘃𝗧, don't worry. The civilians and innocent won't be caught in the crossfire, and all the corrupt heroes will be punished by the law. Now, before we begin with awakening the Colossus, we need to get myself a body. But first, you gotta see this. Starts shaking and mumbling gibberish as the beret falls off Momo. What's happening? 𝗵𝗃𝗲, I don't know. Takes out a scroll with writing on it. I wasn't at the technical rehearsal. 𝗵𝘃𝗧 approaches the first podium and starts regurgitating transparent versions of the books of evil that he consumed as 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 and 𝗬𝗏𝗏 put them on the podiums. 𝗵𝘃𝗧, the book of evil, a new evil dawns across the land. The boom of chaos. The curse will spread and chaos will reign. The book of fear, so that fear abounds at my command. The book of anger. The raging anger is my domain. The book of deception. Nothing will be as it seems to you. The book of destruction. Your world destroyed, you will feel the pain. The book of vengeance. My vengeance I shall renew. Latveria. It's always a party when there's ceremonial barfing involved. 𝗵𝘃𝗧, the book of greed. All the treasures of the world will be in my possession. The book of envy. Everything will belong to me. The book of cruelty. All shall be filled with nastiness. And finally, the book of betrayal. My enemies will join our cause. Izuku placed the book of betrayal on the last podium with 𝗵𝘃𝗧 grinning from ear to ear if he had any. 𝗵𝘃𝗧, now let's get this show on the road. Izuku guides everyone to where the rest of the league, Inko and Eri, are watching as all the monsters got into their possessions. Izuku stands beside 𝗵𝘃𝗧. The ceremony then begins as the crust smashers start drumming and the monsters start chanting and working on the cauldrons. Once it got to a certain point, Latveria cues 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 and 𝗬𝗏𝗏 to walk in. 𝗵𝘃𝗧, I'm so excited. Can you feel the evil building inside me? I'm as giddy as a textbook. They walk up to the podium with the book of evil. 𝗵𝘃𝗧, and now it is time that I, 𝗵𝘃𝗧, the arch-necromancer of evil, take human form again. All these things, taken from me so long ago by Malik, now come together again, to make me 𝗵𝘃𝗧. Come forth, evil. 𝗵𝘃𝗧 absorbs the book of evil's power, turning it into a non-magic book. He then grows larger. 𝗵𝗃𝗲, the MSTR returns. 𝗵𝘃𝗧 approaches the book of fear. 𝗵𝘃𝗧, fear. He does the same as before, but this time he gets so big that the bookkeeper can no longer carry him and he falls over. 𝗵𝘃𝗧, 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 picks him up. The bookkeeper got up and walked to the audience now that he was out of a job, but Izuku still felt that he could serve a purpose in the future. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 then goes to the book of chaos. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏, chaos. Then the book of anger. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏, anger. Then the book of destruction. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏, destruction. Then the book of vengeance. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏, vengeance. Then the book of deception. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏, deception. 𝗵𝘃𝗧 was now large enough to absorb the power of the three evil books, and so he did to the books of greed, envy, and cruelty. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏, greed, envy, cruelty. Now there was only one book left. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏. And finally, the ultimate betrayal of all good in this world. The book of betrayal. The final book's power had left it, and 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 had regained all his power. He was now able to float, and he hovered over Hood. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏, now become 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏. 𝗵𝘃𝗃 now forced all his power into the Nomu's body as the book began to shrink back to normal size, and the face on it vanished. Once the dust settled, the Nomu was free from its restraints and let out a laugh similar to 𝗵𝘃𝗏's. The ceremony worked. 𝗵𝘃𝗃, yes, after so long, I finally got a body again. He then proceeds to laugh with everyone else joining in. 𝗵𝘃𝗃, now Izuku. My young apprentice 𝗵𝘃𝗃 holds out his hand as some obsidian comes together and forms a staff similar to his own. He walks towards Izuku and gives him the staff while taking back his own. 𝗵𝘃𝗃, it's time to get the final forbidden power and awaken the Colossus of ultimate destruction. Izuku, yes, MSTR, I've already located it, 𝗬𝗧𝗟𝗍. 𝗬𝗧𝗟𝗍 opens a portal, and they walk through, finding themselves close to an abandoned village and the 𝗏𝗏 statue in front of them. Izuku, there it is. They arrive and see the 𝗏𝗏 in pieces. 𝗵𝘃𝗲 zaps it to life as it holds the forbidden power. It was a yellow skull made of energy and what appears to be a blast shooting out of the bottom. This was awesome annihilation. Izuku takes the forbidden power and puts it in his staff. Izuku, alright, let's test it out. Feels the immense power causing him to lose his balance. Whoa, it's really powerful. 𝗵𝘃𝗲, nice. Fire it up. Izuku, whoa, I can't stop it, it's gone haywire. 𝗵𝘃𝗲, you gotta do it now, or it will overwhelm you. Izuku, I'm trying. 𝗵𝘃𝗲, now do it now. Izuku, no. Suddenly, a powerful yellow blast shoots out of the staff, knocking him back. When he gets up, he sees the entire town destroyed. Everyone's eyes widen at the sight of such destruction. Thankfully, that small town was abandoned long ago. Izuku, I can see what all the hype was about. Luckily, we're not actually going to use it on a populated area. Katsuki, but that blast definitely drew some attention. Bakugo points out as they see some 𝗵𝗃𝗃 heroes arriving. Toya, they can't see you here. Get on the 𝗲𝗏𝗍𝗏. The heroes all did as instructed, with the bookkeeper, Toya, and Spinner driving the vehicle, and twice providing some extra speed in the wheels. Izuku and the rest of the league got onto the rolling headquarters, and they quickly went ahead. The rest of the monsters got into their respective vehicles and followed behind, making sure to keep the 𝗵𝗃𝗃 heroes at bay. Izuku, we have to hurry, or they'll catch up with us. 𝗵𝘃𝗃, we're almost there, but we'd better get them off us. Laverius, sir, I have a plan. They're after Izuku and the staff, right? 𝗵𝘃𝗃, yeah. Laveria, so what if we trick them into thinking there are multiple Izukus? Izuku, and we can use the power of deception to fool them. Good idea. 𝗵𝘃𝗃 used his powers to create fake duplicates of the staff and Izuku and gave one to each of the monsters. The heroes seem to have bought it. The roles are reversed. The chase ended once they caught up and found out the truth. They then pursued the rolling headquarters and 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏. But 𝗵𝘃𝗃 wasn't done with them yet. The monsters were able to take out the heroes that they went after, leaving one vehicle behind. They regrouped with the rest of the team and then headed across a stone bridge. Fake hero, go. Izuku then gets to the back and uses collapsing crumble on the bridge, causing it to fall apart. Just as they finish crossing. Fake hero, Stop. The vehicle came to a halt and the team got away. They reached Mount Thunderstrucks, where a few heroes were waiting. Izuku, keep them busy while we finish the transference. The monsters, namely the harpies, 3 brothers, Infernox, a few stone monsters, and lava monsters, stayed behind and began to fight off the 𝗵𝗃𝗃 heroes while the gang made their way up the mountain. Once they reach the top, they all climb off and Izuku takes his staff with the forbidden power. He was about to give it to 𝗵𝘃𝗃, but he stopped him. 𝗵𝘃𝗃, kid, I want you to do this. Izuku, what? But you deserve it more than me. 𝗵𝘃𝗃, no, you brought us all to this point, you'll take us all to the end. Izuku looked at his staff, and then at everyone present. He smiles and walks up to the crown. 𝗵𝘃𝗃 uses his magic to summon lightning storms to complete the process. Izuku, it ends today. 𝗵𝘃𝗃, transfer forbidden power. The tablet melts and flows through the staff down to the floor and then up to the final stone pillar. Izuku, with this power of desolation, I give to you awesome annihilation. Once the transference is complete, the symbol on the tablet appears on the final stone pillar. The duo then laugh maniacally as 𝗵𝘃𝗃's storm dies down. Once it was done, a surge of electricity travels up the stone pillar and bridges out to the others, and a purple aura surrounds the pillars. 𝗵𝘃𝗃, we have gathered 10 forbidden powers. Now they are combining to power the Colossus of ultimate destruction. The lightning travels down to the Colossus, causing it to wake up. The team manages to get off the mountain just in time. The mountain begins breaking as it begins to stand up. Just the Colossus being awakened. It's a giant stone monster, the sire of a mountain. It has large purple wings, and in place of a right hand, it has a large blaster. The standing stones are on its head, imitating a crown. Izuku, whoa, now that's a monster. 𝗵𝘃𝗃, I'll take control of it for now. Make sure the innocent aren't in the way. Right, everyone, let's head back and protect the people. The heroes leave to protect the innocent while the League stay Tenko. Doctor, wake up 𝗧𝗵𝗲, we're storming the Hero Commission. Garaki sends a message to the radio around Machia's neck, making him wake up and walk all the way to the city. He's careful not to hurt any bystanders and keeps the HPSC heroes away. Izuku onward to the Hero Commission. The monsters all charge ahead, fighting off as many heroes as possible and overwhelming them with just their sheer numbers. Machia also used his own quirks to help keep strong heroes at bay. The Colossus walks all the way to the HPSC building and tears the roof off, shocking everyone inside. Izuku gets off the Colossus and points his staff at the Hero Commission president. Izuku, your broken society ends today. A new age has begun. One of the members gets up and tries to attack Izuku, only to be met with a powerful blast from the staff. Izuku, no more quirk discrimination, no more rejection, no more corruption. It ends here. With the fall of the current Hero Commission, 𝗵𝗃 became the new president and helped rebuild society so no one would suffer under discrimination. This has also led to many fake heroes being arrested and several schools which encouraged quirk discrimination being shut down and students being blacklisted from several schools that don't take kindly to such bad behavior. As the years went by, things were beginning to change for the better. Izuku became a very powerful wizard and helped others learn these mystic arts. Monstrox decided to travel the world to learn more about what had transpired in his absence. Katsuki Bakugo and Class 1A graduated and became full-fledged heroes who help people and give villains a chance at redemption. The League of Villains went their separate ways, with Himiko marrying Izuku and having 2 children along with Eri. Toya was rekindling the bond he had with his family. Twice became ectoplasm's assistant at UA and helped people who suffered from dissociative identity disorder. Spinner wrote a book about the life of League and what they have overcome. Mr. Compress became a famous magician and powerful ally to the heroes when it came to capturing villains. Magnus spent time with her friends and proceeded to help others who weren't comfortable being forced to do things they weren't comfortable with. Kurogiri regained his memories and reunited with Aizawa and Present Mike. He became Aizawa's teacher's assistant, helping teach the next generation of heroes. Tenko spent time with his new family while also undergoing therapy to help cure him of his past trauma. As for AFO, despite his infamy, he still helped put Izuku and Tenko on the path they were always meant to be on, so he had a few years removed from his sentence, and would be released within a few years, with the chance at parole. In the end, the villains had triumphed, and brought about an age of true peace. And that's it for Monster Summoner Izuku. Phew. This was a long one. Hopefully the next one I write won't be so long. Anyway, thank you all so much for your support. As for what I'm going to write next, let's just say it might give digital hallucinations. Until next time, bye.